Hey. Welcome to Friday Night Prime, or as Jan will say, Shenanigans Friday. Just give me one sec here, guys. I have things going off my ears. We're still under tornado warning, but yet first cell went by, not too bad. Didn't hit us at all. Actually, my son got it worse in Ottawa than we did down here. But yeah. So I did leave off at Aunt Lynn. Welcome. The Flip Flop Farmer, welcome. Mike Henderson, of course, Brenda. Great kickoff, Brenda. Pam Williams, welcome. And don't forget, guys, if you're not connected to either myself or Rob, make sure by the end you're connected to both. That's what this community is so good for, is actually, sharing and joining and all that good stuff. Oh my goodness. Until it's the top of the hour, my email's going crazy. Ben's Over Acres, welcome. So those of you that are new here, you will see Baptissimo in my chat. what he is doing is he's recording who's in, who's out, not names, just numbers. It helps me know, is my live going in the right direction? Is it not? Um, lets me know how active folks are. It's actually a great tool, but hopefully we are good. I'm uncertain why my laptop is not getting the same connectivity as what my phone is when I've got the booster within eyesight. But anyways, we'll try to get through this. And my phone's on full, so if I have to bring it back up on my phone to finish the live, we will do that. We do have an hour and a half before Lisa at Yogi Hollow Farm comes up. Fisherman 506. Hey, Lee, how are you? Hopefully you guys are all right. You're going to be getting some wicked storms heading your way. Actually, all these storms seem to be cutting across Albany, New York, upstate New York, probably be to New York City by the night. And yeah, actually, I believe Rob is actually going to go live at 5 his time, which, anyways, we'll get over all that once we get him back up here. But my wild home, welcome. Gail Southern Living. Hey, Gail. Jesse and Lisa. I think I know those folks. And hey, Jesse. Full blown country. G'day, Pooch. And Pooch, appreciate you, brother. I didn't even think about doing Plan C, which you brought up here a little while ago. So we'll chat more. But I do appreciate it, and I do think I'm going to do the jump and start making mugs. Well, I'm going to purchase the mugs, but put emblems on the mugs. I think that's the direction that I'm going to go, because I refuse to pay Bonfire $52.38 per mug, and then within 3 months have all the writing come off it. Not gonna do it. Radio Jonesy, look at that, guys. What am I? Only 8 minutes in, and I'm already caught up. So let me bring up our guest for tonight. And a lot of you, they've been around for quite a while, but you may or may not know. But here's Rob from the Curmudgeon in Alaska. Uh-oh. There we go.
What's going on, Scott?
Not much, buddy. Not much. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Hopefully it's a lot nicer. Well, hopefully you're getting nicer weather than us. I know it's a lot cooler there than what it is here, but
I don't know. Currently it's 71 here. It's kind of overcast, but a little bit of sun peeking through. Actually, the last week and a half have been astronomical up here. We've been in the mid to high 80s a couple times. Not a lot of rain, which is unusual because we're in our rainy season right now.
Oh, wow.
We're blaming it on my buddy. He's up from Florida right now visiting for 2 weeks. He actually goes home on Sunday, so we're blaming all the sun on him.
Hey, that's all right, but I suppose with sun will bring a lot of mosquitoes, and your mosquitoes are the size of moose, the same as what ours are.
Actually, the mosquitoes we've been having for the last couple of weeks have been rather small.
Really?
Yeah, and where we're situated, we're kind of up on a hill, and most of the moisture is further down the trail, down towards the railroad track. So if you go down there, you better have on a what do you call those things?
A net or
I put a net on, but I have one of those little butane powered.
The foggers.
The thermocell.
Okay, yeah.
And it works pretty good so far. I mean, we'll see next year how they are. Different times of year, we have different amounts of skeeters. Right now, it's not bad because we have not been having the rain. Usually, if I don't have a thermostat on, I might get 1 or 2 bites a day. But
It's
up
not
here,
too bad.
yeah, it's a little warmer up on the hill here, so it's not as bad as down in the damper areas.
So, we do only have an hour and a half, so we'll get it right in. We'll mix in some questions while we're chatting,
Okay.
and if it was my Thursday afternoon, yeah, God only knows how long we'd actually get chatting. But I got one question. How the hell did you ever end up in the middle of Alaska where you got to take a train or walk 13 kilometers to the closest city, or 13 miles, sorry, to the closest city?
Well, I'd been down in Florida for years. I was a shipwright down there. I worked on boats, repaired boats, built boats, and lived on a boat. And I guess over a number of years, I had a few heat strokes. And then in 21, I started having them on a regular basis. And my girl, Sarah, said to me, "We got to get a place cooler for you during the summertime. You can hire people, have them do your work, that you have lined up, and we just escape to a cold." So we started looking around. We looked at all over the East Coast of the United States. See, I'm from New Hampshire originally. So we looked
Okay.
up there, and taxes are just too high. We looked in upstate New York, where she's from. It's just too high. And she knew I had been trying to come up here since I was a kid. And she said, "Why don't we look in Alaska?" I said, "Fine, look for property." So she found a whole bunch, and we couldn't find a real estate agent. Nobody wanted to work with us because we're from Florida. They're expecting us to show up in flip flops and Bermuda shorts.
Outsiders, yeah.
Yeah, just because we're from down there.
Yeah.
And we finally found the real estate agent to help us, thanks to Facebook. And we called her up, and we're like, "Okay, when can we look at these?" "Well, when do you want to be here?" I said, "Give me 10 minutes. I'll call you back." I called up the airline and booked the flight, 2 flights for us out of Orlando. And I called her back and said, "We'll be there Saturday." And she's like, "Oh, you are serious?" I'm like, "Yeah." So we get up here. We had a whole list to look at. And this was a little bit the most remote one. So we decided we were going to start with that one. So Sunday morning, we meet the real estate agent and the listing agent, who happened to be the girlfriend of the guy that owned the property at the time. So we get on the train, and it's like, okay, this is going to be different. I mean, I grew up riding the trains in New England. My grandfather was a type person who liked to go on different trains.
Okay.
And we get up here, and Sarah, Deanne, and Alexis, our agent, all walk up one trail. I mean, it's fairly steep. And Tom's like, "Come on, I'll show you where the spring is. We'll take a different route. That way you can see, both routes." So they go one way, we go another way. We get out to the spring. We get a drink of fresh water and start heading back up the trail. And we're probably about 300 yards from the house as we're crossing the last creek. And he's like, "Well, they're probably up at the house washing their faces and cooling off." I said, "Well, if there ain't no hot water, Sarah's not going to wash her face." And he just looked, "This hot water? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, no." He's like, "What?" I said, "Just give me the paperwork." And I said, "If it's got hot running water and it looks like what it does in the photos, it's going to be a done deal." He just laughs. We walked in the door, and she's got this big old, eating grin on her face. And I'm like, "Told you so." And we walked around. We spent about 2 hours walking around the property and just fell in love with it. And we walked outside, and she's like, "What do you think?" I said, "It's more than we want to spend for a vacation home. A lot more." And she's like, "Well, we'll discuss it later." And we just wandered around for another hour, just, looking cranny, because there's the cabin that we lived in the first winter, which is about 900 square feet. And then we have a trapper cabin, which is a one room, which has been made into basically its own little cabin. It's got running water via a jug, a drain. It's got a stove, wood stove, and it had a one single burner propane stove in there. And then the house, which is where I'm at now, was just bare bones. It was just walls on the outside, floors, and roof. That was it.
Okay.
And we're looking at it and like, this got a lot of potential. I mean, this building here is right around 1,960 square feet under roof. And
Wow.
something this size out here in the middle of the bush is pretty rare to find. And she looked at me, what'd she say? She said, are we dreaming or are we going to do this? I said, depends what you mean. I said, if we buy this, I've got to sell my sailboat. I've got to close my business. You've got to sell your house or we rent it out and we come here. And she goes, what do you want? I said, let's sell.
Wow.
And that was it.
Wow.
It took us 2 months to liquidate it. We made an offer on the spot, of course. And we made an offer, made the offer and went back down there, and it took her less than 48 hours to sell the house because of the market down in Florida where we went through the roof. I mean, she paid like $80-something thousand for the house like 12 years ago, now 14 years ago, and she sold it for almost $350. So it was a hell of a return.
Absolutely.
And I'm
Absolutely.
I buy all kinds of sailboats and I'll sit there and flip them. I'll live on it as I'm working on it. And I just bought a big 38-foot center cockpit, and I was to the point where I could sell it, make a nice profit, and I sold it to a friend.
So now you said you were born in
New Hampshire,
on the East Coast.
Yep.
So what took you to Florida?
Well, I was a New England farm boy, and I traveled around for a while, went out west, and then Mom called me up and said, hey, I need a little help down here. She had a car wreck. It's right around the time Andrew hit, and I went down there and helped her out, and I wound up falling in love down there with the area, being a sailor. I was down there like 2 weeks, and I bought a boat, and
yeah,
bought a cheap boat, and then just hung around. Then I worked for a couple companies for a while, and I said, I like working for myself better, and I started up a dive company working on boats underwater, and had that for about 10 years, and then went into basically refurbishing and building boats.
Wow.
At one point, I think I had 7 or 8 employees, usually just 2 or 3 because most of them can't hack it. It's outside in Florida. It's no joke. I mean, when you're hitting 105 with a humidity of 100%, it's not easy.
Yeah, that's it. We have a few here that are in the chat that are from Florida. One actually, Nora. Hey, Nora. She's from Orlando, or Orlando area. So
we were in Southwest Florida. So probably, what are we, about 3 hours south of Orlando, 2 hours south of Orlando, something like that?
It's hard for me to figure because I was on the other side.
Yeah, we're a number of hours south of Orlando.
Were you Gulf side or the Atlantic side? Gulf side.
Yeah.
So you were closer to Tampa than you were really to Orlando.
We're about an hour south, or no, was it 100 miles south of Tampa?
Oh, okay. So what was early life for you? Like, how did you start things up?
Okay. And I grew up in a small town called Derry, New Hampshire. Back then it was small, and I think we had like 6,000 people in the whole town. I thought that was small. It's even smaller here. I spent half my summers on the farm and half the summers in my grandfather's place up in the mountains, helping him in his bakery and fishing.
That sounds like a half decent childhood.
Oh yeah,
and busy enough to keep you out of trouble.
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing.
Yep.
So now that you're up there, and I know with your buddy up there from Florida,
yep.
He's like a beaver up there, taking all your trees out.
Yep.
And I'm not going to tell you, or I'm not going to say which is we're doing today in case that's coming out on a film, or on a video, but is that to get you closer to town, or is that just to maneuver better around your property?
That was mostly for fire protection, and a couple of the trees are too close to the buildings. We, just like in places in Canada, we're fire prone here. So I like to keep at least 100-yard buffer around my outbuildings. And I've got a number of trees left to go, but the big one he took down was just maybe 30 feet from the house, and it was a big birch. Most of the guys in the East Coast, you got a birch that's about this big. This thing, what was it, about 26 inches across? No, 23 inches across.
No, it was 26.
It was 26 inches across. And that's what, 4 feet off the ground? I've got probably about a quarter of wood out of that tree I've got to chop up.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
And it's just one.
it's just awesome to see the amount of ferns that the ferns that you found for fiddleheads in the spring. And,
And that's
like,
just a tiny, tiny bit. If I go directly out the window south, there's probably about 4 acres of ferns. So next year I'm going to be
wow.
really getting the fiddleheads in and doing a lot of canning of them, pickling them because they're really good pickled.
Yes. Yes. I have had them pickled as well. My wife's from the East Coast. So, yeah, fiddleheads is a staple. And I just absolutely loved it.
Yep.
So what about where all have you been? Like different places you visited?
I've actually been to 49 of the 50 states.
Well, that all right.
Been through Mexico quite a bit when I was in my late teens. I actually was supposed to go to school for archaeology and anthropology. So I spent some time down in Mexico for the Mayan. And I
Okay.
actually lived up your way for a little while. I was in Manitoba for a little while. And I was also in Stevensville, Ontario for a while.
Oh, wow. Stephenville, Ontario is about 5 hours from me.
Yep. A friend of mine had a horse farm up there. He raced at 40 track and he got sick
Okay.
and he's like, "Hey, can you come up and help me and my daughter with the horse farm
Yep.
and, stay there for the winter. And, in the springtime, you can go back south." So that's what I did.
Wow.
I had a blast. We had on our farm, we did a lot of produce, but we also had thoroughbreds, and my aunt still has thoroughbreds and standardbreds. So
Okay.
wasn't unfamiliar with horses.
So you're primarily horses then and not cattle.
No, we
Or
had we had personal cows, one for milking, one for
sure.
butchering, hogs.
Yeah.
At one point, I think we had about 600 chicken.
Oh, dear.
We raised broilers and some laying hens for eggs, but most of them
Okay.
were broilers.
Yeah. So we've got that. So how many, if you visited 49 of the 50 states, how many of them have you actually lived in?
New Hampshire, Vermont, Colorado, California, Washington, Nevada, Florida, of course, and North Carolina.
That's not bad. That's about eight or
Yeah.
9.
I traveled around a lot. I actually, people still laugh at we grew up in different times from now, and when I was 18 years old, I hitchhiked across the country 3 times in a matter of a year. So I was like, I would rather see this now in case something happens later in life and I regret not seeing all these places. So I said, "Oh, here I go."
And that's it. There's so many things that we did as kids that there's no way in heck the kids of today could even, like there's stuff that we did that I tell my son who's 21 and he's like, I could never do that. And I'm like, yeah, because you kids walk around with cameras. We never had cameras.
Well,
And,
I always
oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been a photographer since I was a kid. And actually, in Florida, I was
Okay, sure, yeah, like that kind of. But I just mean it's far too easy to get video and whatever nowadays. And hey, Jan, and it just it's just a different time now.
It is.
Like
I
know
wouldn't
myself.
now. I wouldn't even try that nowadays.
I wouldn't even. Honestly, I wouldn't even try to hitchhike 100 miles. Like you see I'm right on the Trans-Canada Highway here.
Right.
Literally in my backyard is the Trans-Canada Highway. And I see some of these kids hitchhiking and, in the mornings you can see them setting up tents up closer to the highway or ripping them down ready to hitchhike again. And I'm like, no way would I be doing that nowadays.
No.
Like there's just no, it's a different time now.
Yep.
It's just, the safety that, you could get in with a truck driver and shower at truck stops and he'd take you across the country.
Yeah.
You buy him a meal every day or, buy him lunch or buy him breakfast. He was happier. He had somebody to talk to.
Yeah, exactly.
you know. But yeah, no, you couldn't even try to do that right now. Uh, so what? I guess you kind of answered this one already, but what have you done for work as an adult? I know you've owned your own business and stuff like that, but
Well, I've been in the marine industry most of my life, but I'd always have separate part-time jobs or little gigs just for extra money. For a
okay,
while, I had expensive tastes, cars, things like that. And it's not cheap to rebuild a boat by no means. If it says boat, it's going to break out another thousand, and that is not a lie. Um, I owned a tea shop, tea urban spice company for a while in Florida, and that was actually real successful until my landlord decided to jump my rent up. I was in the granite industry running CNC machines for a while, and I had a blast doing that, doing marble flooring. Oh, let's see, I managed in Dunkin' Donuts for a little while. um, odds and end jobs. My favorite that wasn't in the marine industry though is I was a journalist for a while. I started off as just a photographer, and in the end, I wound up in my own column for a while. And that
okay.
was well, it. For I was quiet. I didn't like to talk to people for many years, and that one really got me out of my shell.
I feel you on that one. I couldn't even speak at my own wedding. Like I was so shy, and I tell people that now, and they just laugh at me, and they're
So,
like, "Yeah, okay." And yeah, it's only been in the last 10 years that I've come out of my shell.
yep.
And yes, Jesse, I haven't shut up since. I figured I have to beat him to it because
Right.
he'd be throwing that in the chat real quick.
Oh
And
yeah.
if not him, Jan's right below him. So, um, so what have you got for? I guess this is a two-part question. Hobbies. I know your hobbies would be different now than what they
Yes.
were in Florida. So why don't you start with your hobbies in Florida versus your hobbies in
Well,
Alaska?
hobbies in Florida were really simple. I still do one of them. I'm about to start doing again. Me and John started turning wood while, what, about 10 years ago?
Yeah,
About 8, 9 years ago, we started turning wood, small
Okay.
things. That's always been enjoyable. And I actually just got my lathe up here this past winter. So I've got to finish setting it up and make a spot for my shop. And sailing was my big thing. If I wasn't working, I was out sailing.
Okay.
I'd
And
travel
now,
out to the Keys, the Bahamas, things like that.
mm,
Fishing. Fishing was a big thing down there. I don't think there was a day went by I didn't fish.
okay. And did you pick up any new hobbies or, you know, where you are now, other than, having to run down to the creek and fill up the water, several times a week and, stuff like that?
Up here, life keeps me a little busy for hobbies. I still will turn wood. That's predominantly going to be a winter thing. Now, well, for the last 2 years now, it's just about finishing this house, and I've got 2 rooms left to do. I've got the library to finish off, and the guest bedroom here. I haven't had time really for hobbies. I have done a little bit of fishing, not a whole lot. Friends of mine from Alaska cut the cord, just went fishing. His wife went fishing and came back with a god awful amount of fish, and I'm jealous. So I'm
So
waiting my fishing.
what's your closest, how far would you have to travel to actually get, you know, a good number of fish to put up for the
It
winter?
it depends on what I want. Silvers were limited to a day, and I came up with
Okay.
what the maximum possession is. I can get that right, a mile from here. I can pretty much get any of the fish about a mile from here. It depends on how thick they're running up this way. The creek
Okay.
there's a creek just over my shoulder probably about 200 yards and down the hill, if that. And I was catching salmon out of there the first year by hand. That's how thick they were.
Wow.
Just reach down, grab them, pull them up.
Wow.
But if I want to catch a lot of fish in a short time, I've got to go all the way down to the Kenai, which is going to be about a 4 to 6 hour drive, or over to Copper River area, or
Okay.
Sildot. Now, there's a few places. The Russian River is really big. Everybody's dip netting right now. I did not dip net last year because you can't dip net your first year here. You have to officially be a resident. And when you get your fishing license up here, within your first year, you have to pay out-of-state fees because they had
Oh,
problems
really?
with.
Even if you're living with an address up there, you still
Yes.
have to be a
What
minimum a year.
Yeah, what was happening is they were having people coming up, getting their Alaska state license, saying, "Well, I just moved here, da 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 da," and they go in and pay the $30 for the license, and then as soon as they're done
Yeah.
fishing, they're going back south. So they're like, "No, that ain't happening. You have to be here a full year, or approximate a full year, for you to get your state licensing." I mean, because if
Okay.
I didn't hunt the first year here, because I would have had to have $1,000 tag and have somebody either that was related to me here or a guide. And if you guide hunt up here, it is through the roof. You're talking for a good moose hunt, it could be up to $20,000. I'm not paying $20,000 for a moose.
Well, no, not whenever you can go out your front door and see them.
Pretty much. Like last year, as soon as I got my license, I went fishing, got my maxes on silvers last year. Day before hunting season started, Sarah let Zeus out the back door, and there's no window on it. And I've got to remedy that. We're actually getting ready to build an Arctic room out there next spring.
Okay.
And so there's windows and doors and all the, or windows in the doors and stuff. She let him out and didn't look. He runs out, and I get a little sawmill out there, and he decides he's going to lift his leg on a sawmill. And then he looks up, and there's this huge moose, and it's got to be about a 62-inch rack on this thing. And he freaked out. She's freaking out, and she's yelling moose. And we had a habit of calling him Zeus the Moose. So I'm thinking she's talking to him, and she starts freaking out. And I'm like, uh-oh. By the time I got to the back door, that moose was gone. And I seen it run. I'm like, oh, that was big.
Yeah.
Second day of open season, I come down, the first day I did my rounds down the trails. I'd rather, if I can get it close to the house, I'd rather. I don't want to have to hunt that through the woods. I mean, moose are big. People don't realize how big they are.
Oh,
so I come downstairs, right? I come downstairs to get my coffee water going, and I get a fair-sized picture window, and I look out and I'm like, oh, he's back. So I run over to the corner. I grab my 50 cal black powder, and as I'm grabbing it, the bear bell falls off the top of the gun. Zeus hears it, comes tearing through the upstairs of the house, and the stairs come down like a half flight and then turn and come down the rest of the way. He made it to the landing and then fell down the rest of the way. The moose is like, I'm watching him run by. I can't get to the door quick enough. I'm watching him go, and I'm screaming, hollering. She thought I fell down the stairs. I'm like, no, the effing dog just scared the moose away 10 feet from the back door. It couldn't have gotten better. I'd rather have to get rid of the gut, the gut pile than have to tow a mile and a half.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Wow.
But I was pretty upset about that one. I I still give him hell about the poor dog.
Well, yeah, poor Zeus. He oopsie. We've all fallen downstairs, right?
We're going to go for a walk. Now I don't have the moose bell or the bear bell around. I put it somewhere else unless I'm going to go out into the woods.
Yeah, well,
nowhere around me. I don't want him doing that again.
Yeah. No, that cost you an awful large rack above your head too.
Yeah, and a lot of meat.
Yeah. So you said you lived on a sailboat.
Yep.
Was that just domestically, or did you travel in the sailboat? Or
I traveled around a lot, but I didn't stay in places long periods of time. Being self-employed, I didn't want to leave my clients or my workers to deal with everything, because I do all the bill collecting, I do all the estimates. They went point A to point B, worked on the boat, and then left. So I didn't want to be away that long. If I'm gone a week or two, that's fine. But if I'm going to go away a month, it's too stressful for me. It's different when you own the business. You get stressed over that.
Yep. Because they don't care if something goes oops and it ends up costing you thousands of dollars.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so we answered that one. So would you choose any other place if you had to do it all over again? Or would you be sitting in that same spot talking to me in that same spot?
It'd be the same spot. It'd be the same
Okay.
spot. Like I said, I've been trying to get here all my life. I tried to come up here 4 or 5 times, and every time I thought I was going, something happened.
Crazy.
Hmm.
Now so you'd still be in the same spot. Anything interesting about your places in the past? Like,
Places in the past,
well, I
or
do
or this
believe
place in the past.
about your place where you are right now.
It was actually, what was it, 2013 when it was released. It was actually on a TV show, Railroad Alaska, with the original owners and the builder of the property, Jim and Nancy James. It was on it for 3 seasons, and I think Jim passed the year that the production ended on the show. Nancy
Okay.
hung on to it for a year or 2 more, and then she sold it to Tom, the gentleman we bought it from. But he basically did everything on this house that was done when we got here by himself, and he only had 1 hand. He had a hook for the other hand. He blew his hand off. And
I do remember I do remember, like, as soon as you said their names, I
mhm,
do remember that name because I think I've watched every episode of Alaska Railroad probably 3 different times.
yep,
So um, just even the way that where the train stopped in the opening, it's still
mhm,
that same opening,
yes,
and it's it was because what was it? I guess it was today. The one I think it was this spring maybe, or in the mid. No, yeah, it was coming on spring.
oh, you
The
talking
one
about
that I watched today.
yes, that was early May.
Okay, so
Either
yeah, just
April or early May, one of the 2.
yeah, you had just went in for a doctor's appointment, and I said, that's you go in for a doctor's appointment. It's the only time you have to rent an Airbnb.
Yeah,
You're
yep,
in the middle of nowhere. So it says the Curmudgeon in Alaska. So is
yep,
there plans of opening an inn or Airbnb out in the middle of nowhere?
yep.
And have you done it?
Not yet. I've got a few small projects left in the cabin I have to do. I've got to put up banisters and things like that on the stairs and finish off putting the railing around the deck on the upper deck. And then it's pretty much ready to go. We're going to be getting our LLC licensing and all that stuff done here in the next couple of weeks. We're hoping we might be able to do like a fast opening towards like late August, towards the end of like fishing season, stuff like that, to try to see if we can get people. And we're going to kind of gear it towards at first folks that are wanting to experience off grid to come up. We're not going to charge a whole lot. We're just going to say, if you want to come up. Here's the fee, and bring your food. Come up, and you can shadow me, see what life's like really up here, because it's
I
yeah,
think it's a brilliant idea, and
yep,
I think you're onto something.
yep,
Once you can build up your clientele, and then obviously during hunting seasons and whatever, that's where you'll be able to make a lot more money, you
yes.
know, guiding.
No, I
Now I don't know what it would take if you have to be a licensed guide up there or not, but
feel like this guy up here.
okay.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot of well, not political, but government crap you got to go through to be able to get licensed up here. And I've got too much going on to have to sit down with books and study for that kind of thing. And it's
well,
more so just to get work a couple times a year. I'd rather just keep my house in order.
absolutely. Absolutely. Now Jesse has put in the chat here. What are the taxes and the cost of living up there?
Taxes. Well, we have no public services up here. So
Yeah.
I think this year we just actually got to send the payment in here in a couple of weeks. We're $145 a year.
And that's how many acres?
4 acres with 2 cabins and a house, 3 other outbuildings and a barn, a 2-story barn.
So A lot cheaper than Houston, Jesse.
Yeah. Well, when you don't have a lot of things coming in from town, they're basically just taxing you on what you have. You know, they're
Yeah.
not going to add on the school taxes. They're not going to add on the fire department fees, the police department fees, or anything like that, because they're not coming out here.
So if there's a medical emergency and you've missed the train heading towards town, what, like, you're either kissing your goose goodbye, or would they even have enough room to come in? And, well, I suppose they could come in now after the tree's been dropped.
And that's part of the reason what I'm doing. They have services up here that will come out and fly you out.
Okay.
Downfall is depends on what the helicopter is. It could be anywhere from an hour to 6 hours, and depends on the weather as well. If it's not life threatening, but I need to get to a hospital, I'll just either jump on the four-wheeler or snow machine and go down the tracks. Everybody does it. I mean, anytime you go down to the tracks in wintertime, there's machine trails coming up. You know,
Okay.
they frown on it highly, because if you break down, you could derail a train or get killed. So they frown on it. But like I told Sarah, I said, I'll never ride a machine on the tracks unless it's life threatening, or there's a major, like if I break a leg, and you only get a certain amount of time before you really get a set. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go in and have it done differently. I'll just zip down to town. I mean, on the tracks with my Tundra, I could probably be to town in about 35, 40 minutes.
Okay.
You know, that's not going, full out. That's, doing 30, 40 miles an hour.
Yeah. Now, I know I did see the episode. Do you have to order your fuel in 55-gallon barrels, or will they fill it up off the train?
No, we have, if you have barrels, you can just drop the barrels off at a couple different places for fuel. We use a company called Newman's on the Hill, or Valley Fuel. I'll
Okay.
drop off 3 or 4 tanks over there, and they fill them up there. They call the Tundra, the train company up, what's called the Tundra truck, and they show up and pick it up and then deliver them off to my trailhead. And then I've got to get them out of the house from there. So wintertime, it's a lot easier. I just tip them over and roll them into the trailer off the snow machine. This time of year, which I've got 4 down there, I've got to go down and get. I've got like a tilting bed trailer, and I'll just back up to it, lift it up, and then push it over into the trailer, drag it to the house, and then basically do it in reverse, stand it back up, and roll it over to the corner I need it to be in.
Okay.
It's a process.
It sounds like a heck of a process. And Tony put here, he's off grid in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
And now he can actually drive up to his place. He doesn't have to walk 13 miles to get into his house.
Right.
But he said that, off grid living isn't for the faint of heart.
No, it is not. This area here it's fairly safe. We do have a lot of bears. This year we haven't had any come up to the house.
Okay.
Sarah and I had a bad run-in with a sow and 2 older cubs, probably about a month ago, beginning of the month, beginning of July, where we were going down a trail, and I see something shoot across the trail. It was a young cub, and I tell her to stop, because we're on foot. When we go to town, it's hard to bring the dog on the wheeler because he doesn't like this cage. He's actually escaped out of his cage a couple times while we're on the trail. So we tend to walk down. Yeah. We walk down there, and she stops with Zeus, and the sow starts bluffing me. So I pull my revolver up, bang. I see one cub go up a tree, one go across the trail towards her. She bluffs me again. I shoot a little bit closer, and she looks up at the one in the tree and takes off the other way and just kept on going. She left him up in the tree.
She figured he was safe up there. I'm out of here before he ends up shooting me.
Right. They're also at that age where she's about to give him the boot. So she just kept going. She got about 200 yards away from us. And I said, okay, Sarah, let's go. We walked right underneath the tree. That little bear was up, and he's just looking down. I was like, what are you doing down there? Rah, rah. And we got past him. We got to the tracks, which is about another 100 yards away. And we could hear him screaming and hollering for about another 20 minutes.
Well, he's just letting Mama know that, I'm a little angry that you left me behind.
Right.
Man.
But yeah, then we've got some big brown bears up here too.
Okay.
Really big. I posted a couple of videos with some of the foot tracks in there. And I'm size 12 and a half, and I got one that I can step inside of its paw print. Yeah. There's one a little bit
Wow.
small, there's one a little bit smaller than that one, and I just put out I think it was last week or the week before, I put out a video of just different critters. I dump my trail cam every couple of weeks, and I just put a little video together. And
Yeah, that was actually it just dumped on the weekend, I think.
yeah, I
I
think
think I
last
watched
week
that one.
I dumped it. But I mean, you see
Yeah.
her; she's not a small bear. Those fern she was walking by were about a little over waist high to me. So you're talking about 35 inches high,
Yeah.
and she was about the same height. So she's not a little bear. I mean, she's
No.
not big either. She's not a 9-footer or anything like that. She's probably about a 6 or 7, which is a very formidable bear.
Yeah. Well, and the bear would have to be half decent there, especially if they're eating out of that creek
Yeah.
that you have not that far from the house. If they have a smorgasbord of fish, they're not going to come bother you.
Well, luckily,
You know.
the fish don't start coming up that creek until mid to late August. Because reason is
Okay.
'cause a lot of times from usually in late June to early to mid July, that creek goes dry. But
Okay.
the Susitna River, which is a major river, is less than right around a mile away. So they'll go down there and they'll fish.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, why fool around with a human when they can just go down and sit, and fish by themselves?
And then they don't like the sound of the bang sticks either.
Yeah, I could suppose that would could upset a few little bears. Now, have they ever tried to get like another TV show going up there about being off grid in Alaska? I know at one point there was like 5 different shows, and it seemed like they just all went bang, bang, bang one year after another. They all went off.
Well, no, a lot of them still on. Like, what was it? Last spring, Life Below Zero contacted me. We did it over the internet interview with them, and they kept harping. They want me to trap. They want me to trap. They want me to trap. And I said, no, there's already somebody around here that traps. It's his livelihood. I'm not interfering with his livelihood. I'm not going to cross somebody else's trap line.
No.
It's a respect thing.
Absolutely.
And then it was probably about 2 or 3 weeks later, somebody from Mountain Men showed up. Young girl.
Showed up.
She calls up and says, hey, I'm coming up the tracks. I'd like to talk to you. I'm like, okay. So she come up and she sat down, did a video interview with me and Sarah about me being on the show because it's Mountain Men, not Mountain Women. Just like the one gentleman's got his wife always in the background up in Montana there, Tom, I think his name was, or something like that.
Tom. Yep.
Yeah. So they come up there. I think she spent like almost a half a day up here just talking to us. And again, focusing on trapping. I'm like, I will not trap. If that's what you want me to do, I can't be on the show, because I'm not going to cross paths.
Yeah.
It's not
Well,
simple
like you
life.
said, why would you upset a neighbor, especially up in the middle of nowhere, when
Yes.
that's how he's putting food in his mouth?
Yep.
Exactly.
Like we
again,
talked, everybody laughs at this one. You know who the Rainies are?
Sorry?
You know who the Rainies are? Marty Rainey, Matt Rainey. Yes. The Homestead Rescue.
Yes.
I've met Matt a couple times at Lowe's in Wasilla, and we were talking. I mean, I'm looking at him like, I know you. It's just one of those faces. I said, no, you're Matt Rainey. And he started laughing. We talked for like an hour, and he leaves. He's like, I got to run, and I forgot something in a truck that we needed to get a size for in Lowe's. So I ran out to the truck, and he's parked right next to me. And Sarah comes out and says, what are you doing? And he's telling me, hey, get a hold of my dad. You might be a good candidate for the show. I'm like, number one, I just got here. I don't need a rescue. But what was it, about 3 or 4 months ago? They were looking for people. So I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you. I said, I don't really need a rescue, but I'll talk to you. And the producers call me and we go over everything. And I'm like, it's going to be a bitch to get stuff up here. Excuse my language. And they're like, why? I said, I'm off grid, remote, and the only way in is by train. So they said, never mind. We're too remote.
But it would make for an amazing show.
And that's what Marty and Matt both said as well. They said, like, you're a perfect candidate for it, even though you don't need it, because everybody knows most of this stuff is somewhat staged.
Absolutely. It used to be
It's
virtual
not,
reality. Not
it's not
anymore.
reality. It's whatever reality
Yeah.
you want it up to be. So Marty and Matt are just like, don't know what to tell you. I'm like, I'm not worried about it. I mean, I don't need it. It would have been
You
nice to
asked.
bring up some machines up here to help put a well in,
Yeah.
or do some land clearing. But on that, I'm not worried
But
about
yet
it.
they could almost do like a complete show just off of your property alone on, like how much is it actually going to cost them to throw an extra, flat car behind the train?
Well, it's all done. The Tundra truck is done by volunteers, basically the heavy equipment operators. And what they
Okay.
do is they load everything down in Anchorage on looks like it looks like a big wrecker, flatbed wrecker. And
Okay.
it's got about a 5,000-pound boom crane on the side of it that they can pick stuff up. We're actually waiting on a side by side to get brought up here that we got Sarah for her birthday, so she can get
cool.
around. Sarah's small, so she doesn't have the strength to maneuver the four wheelers in 4-wheel drive, which you always get a 4-wheel drive up here. So we got her side by side, and we're waiting on that to get here. So that's they can. I think they said it was 6,000 or 5,000 pounds they can lift. That's how I'll get my tractor up here when I finally get a tractor.
Okay.
So, but
So
it's
now,
an ordeal to get it set up here.
Now, how long do you have to plan? Like how long does it take them from whenever you say, I want this to go up till it actually comes up?
That depends. It's all done on volunteers that want to get overtime. And like this past winter, they had so much overtime already from clearing the tracks. It took me a month and a half to get a fuel delivery. And I finally called up and like, hey, I'm on vapors. I need fuel now. I mean, I have a diesel generator. I have plenty of diesel. I got an old Yanmar L90 that only burns like an eighth of a gallon an hour, and I've got 150 gallons out there. I mean, I go all winter with it, but it's an old generator. I don't like running it that much if I don't have to. But the big thing was
Oh, okay, you're back.
Lost you for a second. I am on Starlink up here.
Hey, as long as we don't say anything that Elon doesn't like, we're not talking about Twitter, Elon. Leave us alone.
Nope.
But yeah,
last I heard was so.
Yeah. So Tony said that the Disney Channel pays a lot of the supplies for the Ramies.
Yeah.
And that's who's up in Alaska right now doing, because they did the Alaska Railroad as well. They do Mountain Men. They did all of them.
Yeah,
is the Discovery.
Yep.
But I can't believe that like they've been doing this for so long that if a man says that he's he doesn't trap, obviously they know there's people trapping.
Well, and I explained that to him too.
And 8 acres is not enough just to trap on your own land. You're gonna have to go off into the Crown land and whatever else.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, JB. Anybody else have any other questions while we're chit-chatting here? Now, are you guys on the 24-hour sun right now, or how's your
we don't have a 24-hour sun. It gets like a dusk.
Okay.
It's not like
you still have light.
Yeah.
You still have light.
Oh yeah, you can get around outside without a problem at nighttime up here. I think the sun's going down around 11:30 now, but it's still light enough to walk around. It's like, say in your area when the sun comes up around 7, but you can still walk around at like 6. It's like that.
Okay.
You don't need a headlight or anything like that, or a flashlight. You can just walk.
Dusk or dawn kind of deal.
It's dim, but
now during the winter, do you guys go to complete darkness, or is it the same dusk to dawn?
Yeah, we get On the solstice on the 21st of December is our shortest day. In our area, we've got about 5.5 hours of daylight.
Okay.
It's not horrible. I mean, I should be able to get, if it's clear out and I drop a few more trees out in the field, I should be able to get, some charging on my solar.
Okay. Let's see here. Johnny, the flip-flop farmer, Gillum Farms, said Josh said it's dusk. He could shoot a moose at 300 yards.
Pretty much. Yeah, I think he's talking about Josh from Southern Roots Alaskan Branches.
Yeah.
Good kid. I like
him. I believe Johnny just interviewed him last night.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah, I do believe that they were just he was just on the Gillums last night, and actually he turned around. I don't think he was up on panel yet, and there was a damn moose right behind him.
Yeah.
Like 10 yards away from him.
Yep.
That would be, like, yes, I've seen them.
Right.
I'm not like a lot of folks here that haven't even seen like a real moose. I've been fortunate enough to snack on one.
We actually had moose last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nothing better than a moose. Rob, how far away is the nearest neighbor you have? You had to tell him to lower. Have you had to tell him to lower the music?
Our nearest neighbor is about 3 miles away. That's year round. We have a lot of others that come in periodically, more in the wintertime than the summertime. Jonathan is the local trapper that I was talking about. Like, I believe he's about 3 miles from here.
Okay.
He's not super young. He's been out here since he was 13. He's like 38 now. So, and he's actually, to this day, he's still Alaska's youngest person to get licensed as a hunting guide. He got it the day he turned 18, from what I understand.
Wow.
And he's been out here doing it since.
So he's got a cabin like up near the tracks. Like he's like yourself.
He's further inland from me.
Okay.
Away from the tracks.
But his only way to get in and out would be the tracks as well.
Yep. Yeah, he's braver than me. He'll go down the river in the wintertime, and I won't go down the river in the wintertime. This year it was really dangerous because we never solidly froze. There was still a lot of
really?
Yeah, there's a lot of open water this year.
Now, what's your normal snow accumulation for the winter? Average.
I don't know yet. Our first year was horrible for snow amounts. February alone, we had over 85 inches of snow in February. And
wow.
I know I cleared my mechanical building roof, actually all the roofs, about 6 times, and it was shoulder deep. But it's fluffy, so as it settles, it compacts down. I think between what I talked to Orville, who was the closest neighbor to the south at that time, between him and I think we estimated close to over 20 foot the first winter. This past winter, we're probably closer to around 12 feet.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And again, I've grown up with 3 to 4 feet.
Right.
I just can't fathom anything over 10. Like, my wife in New Brunswick, they have pictures that they used to slide right off the roof.
Yep.
They'd get 8 to 10 feet. It was nothing for them. Now they don't get that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have pictures of them, climbing all the way up to the top of the roof and sliding down onto the road.
Right.
And that's what they were having a blast. Right. Tony wants to know how difficult it is to purchase off-grid property up there. He missed your opening statement.
Yeah, it's not hard. You just have to find a real estate agent that's going to work with you. But the big thing, especially up here, is you need to set foot on property twice. Once in the wintertime and once in the summertime. Because what looks like what might be a big field may be a bog or a swamp. And you don't want to buy swamp
I suppose. So yeah, you'd know that you had half decent land because you're up on top of the hill.
Of a hill. Yep. But that's
So
not necessarily true, because up above me, less than a half mile away, with an elevation rise of 300 feet, there is a bog on top of that hill.
wow. Okay.
I have a video on my channel called Top of the Mountain to You, where I went up to the top of the mountain and I found the bog up there, which one of these days I'm going to make a trail up there for the summertime, because there'll be a heck of a mushroom hunting around that.
You would definitely be able to get yourself what you need is a freeze dryer up there.
And no, they suck too much power. Way too much power.
That they would it would cost you a fortune.
Yeah.
Trying to run that off of
Solar.
gas that you have to bring in by railway. Yeah, that was a stupid comment.
We actually, anything that really needs to be dried, like mushrooms, fruits, and stuff like that, we stick on top of the wood-fired cook stove, and it dries it out really fast.
Okay. Yeah, no, that Jackie, our special guest, is Rob from the Curmudgeon in Alaska. He lives so far back in the bush that the bears look at him and go, "Where in God's name are you going?" True story.
Right? That's like when I picked up John and we got up here, we got to the tracks. I left my Can-Am down there, which is a two-seater.
Okay.
And we got back to the train stop and it had flat tire. I'm like, we got to walk. Yeah, we walked back up the hill, and of course I took him the steep route. So, because it's actually, when you come up the steep trail, it's the shortest, but it's the most exerting one, but it's also the nicest view as you come down the last hill and you see the property. And I wanted to see that for the first time instead of the back of the buildings.
So exactly, you did it for him.
Yes,
that's it.
And he was trying to clobber me afterwards, saying,
I'm from Florida. Florida, this doesn't happen.
he's like a brother to me. And, my mom will tell you, he's the adopted son. But 6 years ago, John scared us, what of us. He had a heart attack and had to have a quadruple bypass 6 years ago. Wow. So theoretically, he shouldn't even be here, living or dead or alive, or living or dead, but, he did good, and he's still doing good. He's actually looking a lot better than he did when he got here. Mm-hmm.
Well, you have not, he's been your wood slave for 2 weeks. That's great. When's he coming back again?
That's what everybody wants to know, because he brought the heat with him.
So, that truck that I see you driving around in town, is that actually your truck that you leave parked there, or do you?
It's our nice truck. That's actually how we got here. We loaded it to the max as much as we could. It's got a really high top on it. Loaded it to the max, and then drove it from Florida to Seattle. And we had it shipped up. We didn't do the outcam.
Okay.
So we loaded it up on the ship. It got here day after we got up here. We hung out in Seattle for a day or two, then flew up. And it was here waiting. Oh, well, we were here, I think, 2 days before we had to go down and pick it up in Anchorage.
Okay. Yeah, no, I just that little Airbnb that you stay in, or that you were staying in that day that, the one.
Oh, the Raven's Roost. That is a really good little place. That was actually the second place we stayed in Alaska when we came up here. And Stephanie and Jack, the owners, are really good people.
It looks very, very clean, and it's perfect for what you're doing. Trying to gather your supplies and whatever.
Right.
It's not like you're going to the store for a can of soup or anything.
I know. It's the only downfall about that one is it is a dry cabin. So there's no running water except for a bottle with a spigot on it and the outhouse.
Oh, okay.
So if you need to take a shower, you gotta go up to there's a Three Bears in Trapper Creek. You go up there and you can rent the shower. It's like $3 for 5 minutes. Yeah, Sarah said it used to be a quarter in Germany.
Yeah, but that was
Well, yeah,
So
that's
I'm in Germany, camping around Germany and Europe in a VW bus.
very cool.
Back in what, 1970?
Okay. Okay. No, that's that is Jesse wants to know if there's any good restaurants around you to eat. Yes, kitchen.
Yeah, I'm actually quite an accomplished cook. I actually cooked in a lot of high-end restaurants for a while, so I can cook up some meals here that'll rock your world.
So with us again, Tony, I can answer this one because I just watched it today. He pumps the water from his creek, and he's got storage underneath his buildings,
Yep.
and that's what he uses for water.
The one cabin has 300 gallons. This house, we actually just finished putting the tanks in the other day, so we get a total of 400 to 420 gallons, depending on how full I do them. I actually have a bladder tank I'm going to add in it too, bring me up to about 700 gallons.
Okay.
But that's next year.
That's better for the wintertime.
Yeah. Well, last year, we've been in the house a year now, and the house isn't insulated underneath. And there's no underpinning or siding going down because it's up on stilts, 1.5 feet at one end and 4 feet at the other end. So the floor is last year. So now we're gonna have it insulated. I have everything to do it, so that'll make it so the water doesn't freeze. We had a 100-gallon tank in the bathroom for water for the house last year, and drinking water. So I know you know, but the others don't know. Comes from a natural spring about 3/4 mile away.
Any moose steaks? That's what he had last night for supper, JV.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a moose steak. It was canned moose.
Oh well,
that's
even better.
It's not canned from a factory because you can't buy or sell game meat up here. Our friend David from the Nomestead off-grid Alaska, he gave me probably about 5 or 6 cans about 2-3 months ago, and we got one left. But it's just cubed up, and once it's pressurized and canned, as you guys, a lot of people here know how to can. It makes it so tender. I mean, John was saying it's like having pulled pork, but pulled beef all at one, a brisket that just falls apart in your mouth.
Yep, absolutely.
And I didn't put any seasoning on it last night. He's like, oh.
Well, that's it, and some mashed potatoes, and
Yep. Exactly.
It's absolutely amazing. And we used to do that with all our deer too, is cube it up.
Yep.
And do the same thing, pressure, cook it, and it just falls apart.
Yep. If I get a moose this year, I'm gonna probably can at least half the moose, and then I'll do burger, of course. But I like roast. I like things I can put in a slow cooker or on the stove. That's going to take a few hours to cook. I can start it in the morning, put it on the simmer on the very side of the cook stove, and let it go for the day. And by 5 o'clock, it's ready to go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's it, especially up there because, your stove's constantly going.
Yep.
So,
it's not easy this time of year because we did some baking the other day because I make all my own bread and stuff. We turned the stove on, and I should have done it first thing in the morning because by 6 o'clock, it was 83 degrees in the house, and I've got the windows all open and the fans going. It's like, oh no, what a mistake that was.
Oh no. Hello, Mrs. Doubtfire. And hey, Fred. And yeah, Jesse said that canned meat's great. They've canned deer, moose, and bear. I haven't had bear.
I've had bear in the past. I haven't had it recently. I've only had a bear around the house that I would have shot once, and it was before I had my hunting license, and I'm not going to play with DNR up here. So I tagged him in the butt, and he went running. But that was a really big black bear. I mean, I'm 6'1", and he was waist high to me, so he's probably 300 pounds.
Yeah, and Tony asked how you kept your water from not freezing. I guess he's thinking maybe the creek. They're just getting ready to put a water catchment system in at their cabin that they just put up. And
in the little cabin that we're going to be renting out, that actually has a root cellar over there that has the 300 gallons over there, so it won't freeze down there because it's going to stay at pretty constant temperature. At this house, we didn't use the tank under the house last year. We used a 100-gallon tank inside the house. Now that I'll have it all underpinned and insulated, it should be fine for this coming winter. But I'll have the 100-gallon tank around just in case.
But even I'm quite surprised that even the creek, there was not really a whole lot of sediment or discoloration of the water.
The creek where I got the water from for underneath the house, that's I think it's spring fed somewhere further up the hill.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a lot of sediment. There is some tannins there. Like if you took a clear glass and set up on the counter, you will see some tannins in it, and you're not going to get that out.
Well, I saw, in your, it was in your metal, like feed trough that I noticed that, there was just a slight discoloration.
Yep.
I thought it would actually be a little bit more.
No.
It's, you got wild animals, you got dirt, you got, it's just nature.
It is.
But,
and we filter everything really well. We have a large particle filter. We have a 0.5 micron filter, which much take any pathogen up here. Don't have to worry about diarrhea or anything like that. But we just don't drink this creek water. We just like the spring water better.
Absolutely. It tastes much better too. And if you're
definitely.
filtering it all out,
exactly.
If you're going, I think you said today, whenever I was watching the different, you were under 5 microns or something. So it's like
under 0.5 micron.
Or 0.5. So ain't nothing going to get into that.
No, because Giardia is filtered out at 1 micron. So we're half a point behind it. So.
Okay. Yeah. Tony said they're building an insulated watershed with 2,000 liter IBC totes, and all the pipes will go underground and insulated under the house.
Yep. I've actually got 4 275 gallon ICB totes that I got from the local brewery. The guy that owns Denali Brewing actually owns a place about a mile from here, but he's only out here for a couple of weeks a year. And they had mash in them, so I'm getting them cleaned out. So next year I can use them for water storage.
Okay.
Because my goal is, like I was talking with John, Nancy and Jim did build a hydraulic ram that, I don't know if you know what a hydraulic ram is.
Yeah.
They had one here, and the gentleman we bought the place from disassembled it. So I'm going to reassemble one and hook all those ICB totes together and have it feeding into it on a constant while there's water flowing, and have an outflow going downhill. So it's constantly replenishing. And at that point, I'll put a well pump on that to feed both houses.
Yeah. No, the only reason I know about that is another channel I watch just put some ram pumps in to move the water around his the different paddocks for his cattle.
Right.
And he just, all of a sudden he just put like a 1/4 inch opening that it would relieve, but it still was enough pressure to bring the water up. And it's amazing technology. And it's been around for hundreds of years. So
exactly.
Yeah. So, all right, sir. Well, I know you got to go and get your live going.
Sure. Yeah, we'll have to do this again, Scott. I enjoy chatting with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I appreciate your stopping by, and thank you all. And make sure that everybody in the chat goes over and subscribes to the Curmudgeon Inn at Alaska. Jesse will put it in the comments.
Thank you, Jesse.
And you go do your live, and I'll probably see you over in your live after.
All right, Scott. We'll talk to you guys later.
All
You
right.
guys have a good night.
Take care, up.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Well, I don't know. That's some off-grid living up there. That it's just neat to think back and know that I was actually watching that gentleman Tom, that they bought the property from, him and his wife, I used to watch them on the TV show. And now Rob and Sarah have taken over the property. So that's quite neat. Well, let's see here. We have about 10 minutes. So I think it's been going. Excuse me. There is another storm coming in here. So the good Lord got me through. The power was flickering up to 5 minutes before my live. And I actually got to the point, it was starting to take out the Wi-Fi because it was going off that long. So I'm like, no. So I went around and reset all the Wi-Fi, and we got ourselves through tonight, which is, absolutely amazing. I appreciate, and I'm glad you like that, Aunt Lynn. And well, we've got a little bit. We will. Hey, Jesse, if you want to come up, we do have that one last giveaway that I keep forgetting to give away on the Fridays, and we could do that since the folks that stuck it out will do the giveaway. And of course, as soon as I say giveaway, who shows up? Rochelle comes stumbling in. Oh boy. We've been under tornado warnings and everything for, well, since 2:00 this afternoon, Rochelle. It's been crazy. Ottawa, there's trees down. My son's place, he said all of a sudden they didn't know what was happening. And they ran to the windows, and he said it was just like somebody opened up a large ice box and just started throwing ice up in the air. And the whole lawn was just covered in hunks of ice. So, oh, of course, Carlene Vasil she's front and center. She heard a giveaway. I tell you what, folks. Come ahead up, Jeff.
Hey, don't be picking on Carlene. She's one of our best supporters.
Oh, absolutely. She's here every live.
Everybody that we know, she knows. And folks, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you haven't gone to check Carlene's Instagram, you need to go check her out. The girl knows what she's doing when it comes to canning. I was, and the only reason I stumbled on it is because she happened to go to ours and look at ours. I said, wait a minute, Carlene's got an Instagram? So I went to go check her out. That girl knows what she's doing. And her Instagram page impressed me to all get out. I'm telling you. So, but no, don't mess with Carlene. If she wins again on mine, so be it. I believe that there's some karma, if you want to call it, and it's good karma. And some people have it and some people don't. I wish I could win as much as her and Burt Window and everybody. Especially the lottery. I need that 900 million that's going to be drawn tonight.
Isn't it 940? I thought 940. Yeah, 940 million, I think, was the last thing I saw.
Yeah, but when it's over 900, those little chump millions ain't nothing.
Oh, that's just chump change? Well, good. You send that 40 million up here to Canada, and Tony and I can look after that for you.
It's like 10 million, right? 910? Yeah, 910 million. Yeah, that 10 million is chump change. Scott, you can have that.
Bless you, sir. Bless you.
Yeah, but I got to wit. Carlene, can you give me a pump, Carlene? I need some mojo. I need some that win mojo. Yeah. Or, Grace and Fire, another lucky woman. That lady right there, Miss Doubtfire, she's lucky as all get out.
Well, and I'm going to be now.
Creekside Maples. I mean, look at it. They just had a storm blow through, and they didn't get hit by not one single solitary golf ball.
No,
not a
neither did
one.
I. It's went around me, so I'm tickled pink.
And we're down here in Texas. We can't even buy rain.
And my garden's dying from the rain. Oh, there. Carlene said fist bump, Jesse.
That's right. That's right, Glenda. If I win, you get a cruise. You get a cruise. You get a cruise. And you get a cruise. Everybody's going to get it going on that 2025 cruise.
Yeah. So Wednesday at 10 a.m., if you're not busy, head over to the official Ann Lynn show. The Aunt Lynn and Mama Ann are going to be interviewing me.
No shirt, no shoes, no service. So it's the official.
I would never do that. I'd never be that mean to them.
But it's the official Lynn at Lynn. So official meaning you have to wear shirt, t-shirt, pants, shoes. You can wear headgear if you want to, but you got to be. It's an official show, so you have to be.
You know what time of year it is. Do I need to tell? Do I have to have Johnny tell you what time of year it is?
Well,
flip flop season.
Talk is cheap. Yeah, talk is cheap. Yeah, flip flops will work as a shoe. That's on your feet. That's an official Oklahoma shoe, the flip flop.
And that's why I wear the Canadian slides.
The slides, yeah, Canadian slides. Yeah, those are official footwear in Oklahoma. Yeah, in fact, I think they wear it to church.
Well, why not? Whatever gets you there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you never know.
You know.
Yeah, Brampton says, I would use some, Jesse. I would use some. I would use some, Jesse. I would use some.
No, Rochelle, he's not going to send it to you. You know he's going to send it to Dexter.
No, I'm going to send it to Randy. In fact, I'm going to pay to meet Randy because I've never met. Have you met Randy? I've never met. I would pay just to meet Randy. You know, and there's only one Randy.
He's like Jen and Steve. Well, I know Steve exists because I met him at the meetup.
There's a Randy. I've seen silhouettes, and I've seen like a little hand comes in the picture like this every now and then.
Yeah, but
I would pay just to meet Randy.
I've never heard a voice or seen a hand at the same time.
That's true. They could have been plants. It could have been a mannequin. You know, she's in dresses. It could have been a mannequin. I may be all wrong. I may be in left field thinking it's Randy and it's a mannequin.
Hey, Tony, I'll leave my shirt on, but I'm not going to promise that I'm not going to be wearing my banana hammock.
Ken, get it? Please keep your shirt on, Scott, for the love of all things holy. Please keep your shirt on. Yep. Fisherman 506, how you doing, Lee?
Yeah, good old Lee. Yeah, my garden, Lee, I'm going to do a video. Well, probably not tomorrow because we're still not sure. We may pop over to Watertown. It's just going to be Mama and I going for a drive tomorrow in upstate New York.
Okay, Scott. So a few weeks ago, you purchased a bunch of these books down here in Ollie. So he doesn't have an Ollie, so he had me go buy a bunch of books, and he gave a bunch of them away. This is the last one that we didn't have time to give away, and it's called Color the Bible. Now, they're not actually coloring the Bible. You're coloring passages and such out of the Bible. You know, words of wisdom, words of encouragement, and
just uplifting.
Yeah, just uplifting.
They're all passages from the Bible.
It's what you call adult stress relieving. But how are you going to color them? Well, of course, you got to have something to color them with. So we're going to throw in a 72 pack of not Crayolas.
I like how he says he's going to throw in. I told him to pick up an 8-pack of crayons, and he picks up 72, folks.
you know, he picks up a book that's got all this detail in there, and he wants to color with 8 crayons. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just like a Canadian. He's trying to go on the cheap. Look, I said, if you're going to give him something, you're going to give him something that's worth it. And this 72 pack right here, it'll look like this book. You ain't going to get that with 8 colors, folks. You're not going to get that color with 8 colors. So
I do have a
Scott,
hookup,
I had to
Mrs. Doubtfire.
bend his arm, but he's going to get the 72. So this is coming from Scott, not from Jesse and Lisa. Of course, we're mailing it, but it's coming from Scott. So thank you, Scott, for
Yes.
boning up the extra to pay for the 72 instead of the 8.
Exactly. They're breaking my bank
Because your folks over here on the side, on the chat,
over
are
there.
are worth it.
Some are. Tony's here.
They're worth it. They're all worth it. Even Xander's worth it. Because I just heard him. He just slid right on in. I see it right here.
Well, he's passing out sandwiches though now too.
Yep.
And now we got Troy in here, Bar Run Forge.
Hey Troy, how's it going? Let me see here.
And Coffee Watch and whatever. Hey OJ. And Deborah, of course. But I believe it's OJ.
So you got 22. Now see, when I come in, it was like 16. And then somebody just must have there's a giveaway. And they're all coming in now.
I should have said we're going to talk to Rob and do a giveaway.
You should have said we're going to talk about taxes.
Yeah.
And you probably would have heard nothing but crickets, right?
But can you imagine? He only pays $178 taxes.
Is that what I hear? Taxes?
Like that's, what did he say? Just over 8 acres, $178. And that's with what? 4 buildings and a barn, 2-story barn.
But you got to understand that you still have to suffer and live with the elements, and the elements.
Oh, absolutely. Well, he's got no perks.
And he's got there's no running water. There's no, there's no services. There's no services up there. There's no fire department. You're it. So, why would you pay a lot of taxes for no services,
Yeah.
But all right. So let me get the giveaway tool going here, and we can give something away.
All right.
Give something away. Let's see here. Rambling with the Brums.
Oh, Mrs. Doubtfire said we heard Jesse won the lottery, and we're just waiting to hear that this is the big giveaway.
Hey, if y'all give me some of that Carlene Vasseur mojo, I might win the lottery tonight.
I'll even let him rub my head.
Yep. She's got to be the luckiest Florida person I know. Floridian. Yeah.
Well, you got Bert. You got Xander. Xander wins quite a bit on my side too.
Yeah.
And Troy pays $2,400 a year for his taxes. Listen, I only have garbage pickup and snow removal out here, and I pay 32 or 33, and I got an acre.
So what do you want for a hashtag? Book?
Yeah. You could do hashtag BB for Bible book or
I just put book. Make it easy.
Whatever you want.
All right, folks, let's do the book.
And everybody's eligible.
And it's a book and Crayolas. Pencils, not Crayolas. You see, that's how old I am. We used to call them Crayolas, but not anymore. No. Not the 8 crayons there, Tony. This is 72. He's moved it on up. Of course, I had to bend his arm to do it, but yeah, he went from 8 to 72.
Hey, Mr. Jim, I knew that man's he's always lurking.
But no, this really is nice. It's a book of inspirational images for those folks that just want to, disconnect from the phone one day or one evening after you get off of work, and you just want to sit down and doodle while you're watching YouTube on your big TV.
Well, it's better than Jesse choking his chicken.
Hey, I can do that too. I got my chicken right here. Settle down, Toby. Settle down.
Mr. Jim.
Hashtag book. We got 11.
Mr. Jim's got both barrels of going here.
Uh-oh. Oh, I see what he's doing. That's pretty slick. That's pretty slick.
That is slick. I love it. Yeah. So we'll have to restock because that's where we're hoping to get to tomorrow is Ollie's. And there's one in Watertown or Messina, whichever way we want to go.
Yeah, so if you can get to an Ollie's, folks, Ollie's got some really good, really good deals, especially on books, magazines, just art supplies,
Well,
a lot of kitchen stuff. We went and bought
your small appliances.
We got we bought 4 cases, but we got the big jugs of ball. Quart size jars, and they're how many in the case, Lisa? 12, 10, 8.
The quart, there's normally between 10 and 12.
It's either 10 or 12, but the thing is, $10. You ain't gonna find quart size for $10. We do it Ollie's. Yep. They didn't have any of the smaller ones, but they did have the quarts. And like I said, when they come out, here's the deal: when you find a deal, whether it's there or at a thrift shop or at a pawn shop or where, if you find a deal, you need to get it because you're not going to go back and find it later. I guarantee.
Oh, the flip-flop farmer said that they stopped at Ollie's last weekend.
There you go. That's right. Christine was talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They got excellent prices on books. Bibles even. Bibles, books, novels, history books, coloring books, puzzles like Sudoku, hide a word or word search, all that, crosswords.
Mrs. Doubtfire, one of the books that I gave away the last time was under $1 because it was 10% off, and it was, I think, 99 cents plus 10% off.
Scott, would you do me a favor and close your eyes for a second? Close your eyes for a second.
Oh, it closed.
Okay. All right, go ahead. You can open back up. Anyway.
Itchy.
I had to blink.
Oh, Mr. Jim. Goodness gracious. Appreciate you, brother. So that's going to go into my Ollie shopping spree tomorrow, Mr. Jim.
Oh my goodness. I didn't tell you about so we went to the Salvation Army downtown last Wednesday. I'm going to talk about this on my live tomorrow night, but we went to the Salvation Army and we went in there. We looked at the little appliance section. Couldn't find nothing. We went up to look at the
told us this.
No, I don't think I told you. Well, you may have heard me, but not everybody's heard this. Remember, not everybody goes to your live that goes to my live, or not everybody goes to my live that goes to your live.
Well, they should be.
I'm sure there's somebody here that hadn't heard it, but so we went and we went up to the clothes section, didn't find what we were looking for or whatever. Come back down, and Lisa goes, "Hey, look, there's a waffle iron." Went down there, sure enough, it was brand spanking new in the box, JCPenney box, and it was one of them kind that flips around, called a Cook's waffle iron. $50. It was tagged JCPenney's, $50. I got it for, what was it, Lisa? $6.
$6.
Maybe $6.99 at the most. It was six something. So I got it for $6. Brand new, still had the box, the instruction sheets, everything. Brand new in the box. So
I think you showed everybody Friday night last week.
Right. You have to buy it. When you see it, you better get it because it's not going to be there later. My dad was looking for a table. He was looking for a table. He just wanted one of them sofa tables. I don't know what they call them, but they go behind the sofa and they're real thin and long. So
it's like they call it a couch table.
A couch table. So we were looking for a couch table. We went to a place called Forgotten Angels. Went in there, and sure enough, there was one right there, and it's made out of all oak, beautiful. And he couldn't believe the price. It said $29.95 on it on the table. Oak. Now this is wood, and And my dad said, you know what? We went and walked around a little bit more. He goes, you know what? I'm just going to come back on Wednesday because Wednesday they have them on special, whatever. Well, I said, Dad, if you want it, let's get it now because it ain't going to be here if you wait till Wednesday. All right, well, let's get it. We went up there and they charged him only $22 for it.
No.
A couch table, all oak, excellent condition. I'm telling you, folks, if you're looking for stuff, you don't have to go pay the high dollar prices. You can find it at the Goodwill, the Salvation Army, thrift stores, pawn shops, you name it. I mean, I'll tell you what, that's the thrill. I like the thrill of finding the good deal. You know, I'm not saying that I don't buy stuff from big stores. I do buy stuff from other stores and Amazon.
Hey, Miss Lisa has it come in by ship.
Yeah, when that sound goes off, I know that her Amazon delivery's here. It's like, oh my goodness. But anyway, I don't know how we got off on that, but we did, didn't we?
Hey, you just went jump down that rabbit hole.
I know. So you see, we're back down to 19. So I must have talked too much.
Oh well. Well, no, everybody's already gone over to
but
Lisa's.
See now the people the 19 that are still here are gonna get a bonus because I'm fixing to give away something after this.
Oh,
I'm fixing to give away something after this, and because it is watermelon season. Let's just say that.
Oh dear goodness, I did get to see something special the other day, but I can't say. I'm held to secrecy.
Here we go. So, are you ready to give this away?
Let's give it away.
All right, let's give it away now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Uh-oh. Carly Monsieur. Hey, that means we might win the lottery tonight. We might. Way to go, Carly Monsieur. Carly Monsieur.
You guys are talking about her.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you.
I think Lisa's got your address.
Oh yeah, we got you. In fact, we got you on speed dial at the post office. Carly was here. Look at she's smiling. Look at her face on there. She's just so happy.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Well, okay. Who else do you want me to talk about next? Maybe they'll be the next winner. All right.
Thank goodness.
Carly, we got you down. You got that nice looking color.
Speechless, Carly.
Yeah, colored Bible book and the 72 deal. So thank you, Scott. We'll make sure she gets that post haste.
I'll send Miss Lisa the same amount, Miss Lisa.
Remember, Carlene, we're just mailing it. This is actually from Scott. Remember, you got it on Scott's live, not Jesse's, but on Scott's.
Yeah, let me email you, Scott. Or don't send anything yet.
Yeah, don't see anything yet. She said let her email you.
All right. Well, now, I'm going shopping tomorrow with Mama, so the bank might be empty.
No. I know, but
just carry a big wallet.
Yeah.
Deep pockets. All right. Mm-hmm. So it is watermelon season, folks. And I don't have one open. Do you have yours open? But we're going to give away watermelon knives. Okay. Our knife.
You're welcome, Caroline. Congratulations.
Now let me say this. We can't ship this to Canada. So if somebody from Canada wins, we'll ship something else. Mm-hmm. Here's what it looks like. Boom. Serrated. Okay.
I'd want one, but I only like seedless.
Yeah, I'm still looking for the seedless version, but right now, and it's more than just a watermelon knife. You can use it on bread. You can cut. I mean, you can cut your daughter's hair if you want to, if you cut it just right. But no.
Well, I was looking at that the other day. That would cut bread, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, it'll cut bread. Yeah. We use it for bagels, donuts. It'll cut. I mean, it'll cut wieners if you put wieners down. Trust me. That's Oscar Mayer wieners, Scott.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, I don't have a seedless version. The only one I have is seeded. Okay. So this will go to one lucky winner. Since it is watermelon season, and trust me, we've used ours all the time. In fact, we got a video on it. It's a short video, like 3 minutes long. If you go back last year, we put one out, and she was using this knife right here. So we've had it for quite some time, and it's still sharp as a tack. I'm telling you. I wonder if there's a
Wow.
I wonder if there's a
So the flip-flop farmer said Christine's watermelons are growing. Well, thank God, considering they went to see Josh and he didn't have any.
no. Okay, Glenda. We're going to talk about Glenda. Speaking of Glenda, yeah, Glenda, she has these hens like you would not believe. They follow her like everywhere she goes. Well, her and John and her what's her name? Lynn? Her and her Lynn now. No, her Aunt Lynn. When they're out there, they're out there following her just everywhere she goes. She's what else can we say about her? So she can win. She wants to win.
You know, what else is there to say other than she went out to lunch today, didn't invite us. She took Aunt Lynn. Oh yeah, no. Hey, it gets worse. Then not only she didn't invite us for lunch with Aunt Lynn, but she made biscuits and gravy for dinner.
Yeah.
And I don't remember getting an invite to that either. So you know what I say about her winning, right?
What's that?
It's in the same hole as my invitation.
Well, you know, and she is a caregiver to a war hero. I would call him a war hero because he was wounded in action. She is a caregiver, and she's a very good caregiver. She's very pro-military. The whole family is pro-military, and so she's you know 1 in a million, and she is our focal point for our cruise when it comes to anybody need to know about the benefits for disabled. If you are going to be attending the cruise in 2025, Glenda has already researched all the information about what you need, what you don't need, what you can get, what you can't get, you know, what's available, what's not available. If it's anything to do with disability, she's your point person. So, but she's awesome people, but she's our Miss Doubtfire.
She will always be Miss Doubtfire.
Yeah, Miss Doubtfire.
And Sir Grace will always be royalty.
That's right. So who's going to win the knife? That's not an odd.
Aunt Lynn and Em were saying today, they're like, well, aren't you and Sir Grace going to be at the finish line? And I'm like, well, no, we've decided that we're now going to race. I'm going to be Sir Grace's eyes, and I'm going to tell him right, left, gas, brake. I think it's a brilliant idea.
You know what?
I'm going to have his guide stick out, hitting everybody out of our way.
Well, I was just going to say, you're probably going to win because everybody's going to know this, and they're not even going to race. They go, okay, you got it. Go ahead, go. So if you do race with him on that ship when Joss is driving, you better wear your floaties because if he hits you and runs you off, hits you and knocks you off into the water, you're going to need something to keep you afloat. It's a long way. This on the very top deck, it's like what, 15 stories high?
I believe it's 15 and 16.
16 stories high, and you fall from there all the way down to the water.
I just posted, actually, for those of you that are on the Facebook, I just posted a new, I'm trying to post something about the Encore once a week or whatever. So last week was about the balconies. This one's about the top 10 things that you can't or that you have to do on the Encore. and it goes into the racing, the laser tag, the mini putt, like it goes into, into depth. And you can, I did find out that you can buy a week's pass and you could race all week if you want.
Weather permitting, folks. Weather permitting. So
Well, if there's freezing rain or something.
Yeah, because they're not going to run it if it's raining. If it's raining, they're not going to run. So, yeah, you can run every day, but it's weather permitting. All right, folks. Y'all ready?
Now, I hope that's you, Mrs. Doubtfire, and not Sir Grace. She wants to go down the water slide, the one that goes off over the side of the ship.
They have one?
Does it have one that goes over the side of the ship?
Yep.
I knew they had one, but I didn't know it went over the ship, over the side of the ship.
Yeah, I believe there is one that does it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know the Prima does. That's a brand new ship. And then there's supposed to be another new one out the end of this year. But I thought that the Encore, I don't know. I'll look and see. Well, if you're a thrill seeker, keep your go-kart on the track and not over the side. Unless you're wearing your floaties.
So the only good thing about that is the go-karts are electric, so you really can't gas them up, if you will. You really can't gas them up. So I think they top 20 mile an hour,
30 to 40 mile an hour. That's enough.
It's constant whipping and turning and stuff. So there's really not that much of a straightaway to get up to 40 miles an hour. There really isn't. From what the videos I've seen, there's not enough straightaway to get up to 40 because you're constantly whipping.
So I'm going to put it this way. There's Glenda, Christine, and the flip-flop farmer. You tell them that they can't get it up to that speed. That's a challenge.
Well, I pity the food that tries to get it up to 40 mile an hour on a boat. Trust me. And there's nothing but figure eights, all the way up 2 levels, going down, up, around, and down, up, around, down. If you can get it up to 40 mile an hour, and you know what? Christine probably can because she's been racing for I don't know how long, her and old Johnny. So I put my money behind Christine. Yep. Sorry, Miss Doubtfire. I have my money goes behind Christine. Sorry.
Oh,
I just know how competitive she is, Glenda.
Ouch.
And she's been racing all her life, all her married life, that is. So you're gonna have to show me. You're just gonna have to show me that you can beat that.
Glenda, I'll put up the link for you. You can come up and you can let them. You can tune them in. I'm staying out of this one. I'm scared.
Anyway, so y'all ready? We got 15. So let's give it away. Give it away. Give it away now. Give it away. Give it away. Give it away now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here it goes. No other entries. Oh, I saw Carlene's name in there again.
Of course.
I saw Carlene. She wants a knife. She wants the knife.
Mr. Jim.
Mr. JRS. Congratulations, Mr. Jim. All the way to Florida.
Tell you what, karma runs thick.
That's right. I'm telling them Floridians, look at that. So Carlene's from Florida. Mr. Jim's from Florida. There must be something in the water down there, folks.
I don't know. I'll let you know in January.
So congratulations, Mr. Jim. All right. And he deserves it. He deserves it. And I bet you they got a lot of watermelon down there right now. So, yep.
Well, if not, maybe we can hook them up.
And it's a brand new one. It's still in the package. Still got the tie wrap on it. So we have it. This is the one I showed you was the one Lisa's been using for the last couple of years. And can't beat it. Can't beat it. And tomorrow night on our live, if you happen to be on our live, we'll be giving some more away tomorrow night. You see that, Miss Gillum? You see that, Miss Gillum? I even said your name right. So
It's about time since you
money's
got all
on-
the merch and you can't even say their name.
it is, but to me, it's still Gil I am. It's Gilliam, just like William, only Gilliam. But if they want
Man.
to call it Gillum, I'll bow down and okay, we'll call it Gillum. If that's what they want. But
I
when I
tell
went
you
to school,
what,
that was Gilliam. That was Gilliam. But I didn't go to school in Louisiana, not Louisiana, in Oklahoma, which is,
ouch.
if you look at the maps, the old maps, that's North Texas. Oklahoma was North Texas at one time. It's
He
not our
raises
fault they wanted to
cows,
break
not
off.
crawfish.
That's okay. It's not my fault they wanted to break off from Texas and be on their own. But the thing is, that was North Texas at one time. And in fact, if we were to secede from the Union, I guarantee you, Oklahoma would want to jump in with us. Just saying. Oh no, I got to go. I said my phone's ringing. I hear my phone ringing.
Uh-oh.
My phone's ringing.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Hey, Miss Doubtfire, how you doing?
I'm okay until I heard that you're
You
trying
best be-
to
Yeah, you best be backpedaling,
Well,
sir.
listen, my money was on you. It really was. My money was on you. Let me tell you why I
listen.
switched. Let me tell you why I switched.
so
Because
you-
my money was on you until Gilliam said they're going on the cruise.
oh.
When the Gilliam said they were going on the cruise, I said, okay, well, and they said they're gonna win the race. Okay, Gilliam, whatever.
You can't even say their name right. Get it
I
together.
know, and he's got all the friggin' merch.
Maybe I can, but it's Will I am is Gil I am, so it's Gil I am to me. But if you want to call him Gilliam, that's fine. That's Gilliam. We'll go with Gilliam. But when they said they were going on the cruise and they're gonna win that race, I got to put my money where her mouth is. I mean, where my mouth is.
Why? Now that's the next question. Why? Did they give you some money?
No, that's their hobby. They're racers. They've been racing, drag strip racing. They know how to put the pedal to the metal.
But this is electric.
But racing
And
is
it's
racing.
got corners.
Racing
You don't
is
know
racing.
if they can race around corners.
Do you
The
know?
flip-flop farmer, his flip-flop might go fall off his foot. And then
You never know. You never know. Between now and then, I could flip flop. I could go back to you.
But you got to remember, I'm from the state of the Indy 500.
Oh, I never thought about that. I never thought. Yes, right. You're from the Indy 500. Well,
And I've been there.
done that and bought the T-shirt, right?
Right.
And now you done upset Aunt Lynn
What? How did I do that?
What'd she say?
because he said that you weren't good enough. Aunt Lynn's got you.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say she wasn't good enough. I said my money's on Christine because that's her background. That's her hobby.
Mhm.
She does that for a living, kind of like Glenda does chickens for a living. I mean, now my money's on Glenda when it comes to
Are
chicken.
you calling Sir Grace a chicken?
No, I'm saying
You're
Glenda.
digging yourself deep here, buddy.
No, I mean nobody knows chickens like Glenda, well, except for maybe MB Heritage. But Glenda is the chicken whisperer. She's hens of Hens of GF? No,
The GF, yes,
hens of GF. See,
stands for Grace and Fire. Yes.
right, hens of GF. She is hens of GF. So if anybody knows chickens, it's Glenda. And can you tell I'm crawfishing, folks?
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're backpedaling real hard.
Oh. Keep working it, Jesse.
Where's my Louisiana friends? I need some help.
Somebody throw him some floaties.
Yeah, please. I need that ring from the boat.
Well, and considering the two people that he's got their backs, they bailed.
Oh my goodness.
This is Grace and Fire. I'm about to show you what the fire side is
Oh
like.
no. Oh no. I'm gonna zip it while I can.
You got to remember, they don't have a guide stick. I might steal Sir Grace's guide stick and go whop and keep going. Whop.
Oh. No. I already showed Jesse the one.
Oh,
The
did I
holy,
send you?
yeah.
The Holy
The
Grail.
holy.
The Holy Grail. The Holy Grail.
The one that Sir
Yeah.
Grace really wants. We're waiting to see if the VA will get the contract with the company.
Yeah.
If they do, man, it's a new cane, and if they do,
I've-
better watch
I've
out.
already told.
Is it-
I've
is
already
it-
told you.
Is it the one that has the blade that comes out?
No,
Yes.
The Darth Vader?
It lights up.
The saber.
Yeah, the lightsaber.
Yeah.
I already told you. If the VA doesn't, you let me know.
I will. But it's a brand spanking new one, and it's
I've
great.
already got the prices, and
Oh
they're
my
not that bad.
Are they not?
Freddie
Not
says,
at all.
I need some fire. Freddie says, I need some fire. Yeah.
Oh,
And here
Freddie.
you got earth. Hey, look, you got earth, wind, and fire.
Mm-hmm.
You got the best
What
of
do you
all three right here. Earth, wind, and fire. That's the wind.
I've been known to pass a bit.
Yeah. Deborah,
Oh,
Deborah,
man.
Deborah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, gracious. So how is Sir Grace?
He's okay. He's been resting, and
Good.
that's the most important thing. He had a little boo-boo. 2 weeks? Is it 2 weeks now? Gosh, it's 2 weeks.
Was
Yeah.
it really 2 weeks already?
Today is 2 weeks.
So
He had a little boo-boo happen, and we were actually at the hospital during this live 2 weeks ago, right in the emergency room.
wow.
So
And she
he,
was talking the whole time.
I was, well, so I'll give it just a little. He cracked his head open. He had another head injury, unfortunately, and
And she's not joking. She's saying literally.
literally,
Literally.
yeah, literally. And so he wanted me to glue his head, and I said, no, we're going to the emergency room.
Yeah, he just, you got some duct tape?
That's what he wanted. I'm not even like kidding. He wanted me to super glue it. Like he goes,
That's all that they were gonna do.
No.
No.
No, Sir Grace wanted me to just super glue his head.
Yeah. Well, that's all they did.
No, he got
No,
They
staples.
put
They
stitches.
put staples. They
Oh,
put
well.
real staples.
Yeah, and he got
Swing-
imaging.
Swing line staples.
Mm-hmm. So he got imaging, which was good. But I love the ER doctor because during your live, he goes, a family that's nice will just say nice words, right? But a tight family will beat you up when you're down. We were all beating them up.
Yeah.
Scott, he said the staples wasn't the bad part. That wasn't the part that hurt. The part that really hurt him was whenever they did this.
Honk.
He says that was the hard part, is getting that staple in that hard head of his.
Well, the day that he got the staples out, there was another person waiting to get their stitches out. So this poor doctor, one right after the other.
Oh man.
Man.
So, but he's okay. He's just been resting. That's the doctor's orders. We've had several medical providers take a look at him, and doctor's orders to rest.
You see, Glenda can't win. So that's why I think she don't have a chance on the boat. She just can't win. She's always having to do something.
But see, I'm building up right now.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
All
getting
that
that all
anxiety
over.
and frustration is going down on that track. You don't understand.
And yeah, no, he's not going to be splitting his head open whenever he's with me.
So what's going to happen on the ship? We have decided.
I'm making him wear a helmet.
No, he's going to be the guy on the ship with the bubble wrap.
Oh,
You're going to see his
Bubble
face.
boy.
He'll be walking around, That's Sir Grace.
Bubble boy.
That's my man. So if you
bubble
want
boy.
earn a lot of money, invest in the stock of bubble wrap, because I'm going around in a 200-mile radius. I'm going to be buying every store's bubble wrap. We're going to take care of the price.
Hey, Lisa knows how to bubble wrap stuff. So if she needs some
Girl, come on over. We'll get it.
bandage his head. She knows how to do it.
We got it.
Boom.
We got it.
Now, this is a silly question, but did he have it after that happened? Did he have a splitting headache?
Literally and figuratively, and maybe a little hurt pride. Yeah.
Wow, imagine the pride.
That's
was hurt
what he
too, but
said. The most thing is it hurt his pride.
He more hurt his pride. Yeah. But he rested that weekend, and so I went into
as long as he's doing well and he's not having any changes of any kind, that's a good thing.
No, we have all the people involved, so I made sure of that one. But the gluing of the head, don't glue your head if you.
I would have agreed to that.
No.
Yeah.
I gave him a choice.
The super glue is the exact same thing they use at the hospitals. What's in my toolbox?
I'm glad, but
I might have got it from there.
If it's a TBI, you want to go get that checked.
So when I was in high school, I was outside cutting the yard one day, and we had the old chain link fence. And the chain link fence have those little things on top, those little hooks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one was bent over, and I was pushing and pushing. And we had push mowers back then, so you're sitting there pushing hard, and it let go, and one of those arms, you can still see the scar right here. One of those little pokes got me right here, went and dug right into my arm.
I've got it. I've got one right here. I jumped over the fence.
We ain't taking you to hospital for that. No, they just cleaned it up and they put duct tape all the way across to hold it, and it stayed like that for about a week. And then when they took it off, it was almost healed. But yeah.
I have a scar like that too that I didn't go to the hospital for. Someone I know very special. She's not here. Said, "Hold the cat, Glenda. We're gonna vacuum and get all the fur off." And now I've had
that's just a dumb move. Even I wouldn't do that.
I tease her all the time. This was about 30 years ago. So
there's the Norwegian
Did I win?
Homestead.
Woohoo!
Hey, Kato.
No, but you might want to go back and listen, Johnny. We did nothing but talking about you, actually your wife more than you, but
yeah, you're gonna want to go back, Johnny, because the time that the rooster broke out, Jesse needed your help.
Yeah, because my money's on Christine right here because we're talking about the race on the Norwegian. So my money's on Christine. And I don't think Miss Glenda here was happy about that.
He's still trying to dig that hole.
Yeah.
So Johnny, if Christine wants to come up and defend herself,
no, she's in bed already. I think she's already in bed.
Oh, she's good. It's Jesse that's going to have to defend himself. I'm not worried about her. Jesse. You got to defend yourself.
Well, I don't know. You might want to start thinking about going up to the Indianapolis 500 and get some practice because Christine is she's very, very. I mean, not competitive. Very, very competitive.
Okay.
I'm telling you.
What if we hook up her and I together and we're going to take all you guys out?
Oh, now if it's a girl and guy thing, y'all ain't got a chance.
I got you.
If it's a girl against the guys thing, y'all ain't got a chance because we got Johnny.
Nope.
We got Johnny. Johnny's our go-to man for the race.
Hello, we got Sir Grace.
No. We're not even go Sir Grace. No, I'm talking about because remember, Sir Grace is the man that's going to call it, and he's going to call it. He's going to call it for the guys.
Oh no, we're racing now.
He's going to call it for the guys. No, y'all are racing, but separate race. But if it's guys against girls, we're putting our money on Johnny. Johnny's the man. I'm telling you.
Sir Grace and I, we're racing as a duo. He's driving. I'm just saying, gas, brake, right, left. Oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if you want to go ahead and waste your money and your life, go right ahead. No pun intended. Go right ahead.
Left, damn it, left.
Your other left. Oh, I'm sorry. I turned around. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. I just
she's throwing the gauntlet out Glenda already. She said she ain't gonna say nothing. She's just gonna be silent and just show up and win and take the trophy.
I think she and I are gonna take you guys out.
You know what? I guess
well,
we're gonna have to,
I'm sorry, but Miss Lisa's a little bit competitive also.
Oh yeah.
Good.
Trust me.
We need more competitive women.
Lisa's
she's
big time competitive.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
And can you imagine now whenever Aunt Lynn puts down the deposit and Mom puts down the deposit? Ooh, boy, they're going to be racing too.
Yes, we need Aunt Lynn on the trip.
They would, yes, that Aunt Lynn, oh my goodness, you guys got to go. That's going to be a blast.
Especially if Mama shows up.
Oh my God, yes, and we're trying to get Jan and Kevin and Jan's alter ego.
Oh, Mrs.
No, not Mrs.
Loose Fawcett. Loose Fawcett.
Loose Fawcett. Mm-hmm. Loose Fawcett gets going. Mimon's there. Whoo, boy.
It's going down.
Yeah. So how is it with your mom being around there now?
Oh my gosh, it is the best. It really is the best. She moved here in the perfect time because I'm being bombarded by tomatoes. And I can go, please come over.
Well, I know a good salsa recipe. Just
I could use it. I have a ton of tomatoes right now. But, you know, it's nice because today I had my little grandbaby and I said, hey, Mom, you want me to come pick you up? Let's go out. So the three of us went out.
Yeah, for lunch with Aunt Lynn as well. And
I was working up to that, but
yeah.
So that was kind of a last, you know.
Yep.
Girls will be girls.
Girls will be girls. Although Aunt Lynn's husband, my uncle, was there too. So there was one guy. Yes,
the film creator was in the house.
Somebody had to drive Miss Daisy.
Yeah.
No,
right?
That's Miss Lazy, and that's you.
That's me, but but over there, somebody had to drive Miss Daisy around. So.
Hey,
what's going on, Johnny?
Hey, good to be here.
They're talking all kind of trash about you, bub. I've been trying to defend you the whole time.
Not about him. Get it straight. It was all about you, Jesse.
Oh, no.
Hey, nice hat, Jesse.
Hey, yeah, by the way, thank you very much.
All right. Well, that was nice of Johnny to stop by. Where's the remove here?
I want to show you. I want to show you something. See that right there? I race all the time.
I'm telling you, Scott. You know, if you're gonna put your money on Sir Grace, you better put up a lot of it.
I'm only putting on Sir Grace because I'm in the car with him.
So my money's on Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
And if the women
we're gonna blindfold. What you don't know though is we're blindfolding Johnny, and you're telling him where to go.
I think that's a great one.
You know, that would be that's all jokes aside. That would be a good race where you could have the driver blindfolded and you have to tell them no, left, right, left, straight, left, right.
Yes, we just went and put that shirt on.
Now the truth comes out.
I did not. I have had this shirt on.
Just got
I've been wrangling roosters all
They
evening.
making me wrangle them too. They're mean. Hold on.
So are both of them becoming chicken and dumplings tomorrow?
Oh yeah. I think so. I think some of them are.
Well, once they start doing it, there's no getting it out of them.
Well, you know,
especially
they
the
were all
roosters.
buddies. They were
They're
all buddies.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden they weren't buddies anymore.
Yep.
And they broke out of their coop. I mean, because they were fighting. And that's kind of crazy. Christine goes over to the door and she goes, "Hey, there's a whole bunch of roosters on the porch." And they were just fighting it up.
So they were just doing the what do you call it, the full body Nelsons or whatever they call it.
They were all over each other. I mean, they actually brought blood on me. But anyway, you know.
Well,
my God.
They're at that age.
That doesn't say too much about your building skills. If
I didn't build this.
Hang on, Johnny just got sold out.
Supply.
Johnny just
I
got
did
sold
not
out.
leave the door open.
Oh my God, the truth can be known now.
I did not leave the door open.
Okay, so you left it cracked. Same difference, Johnny. If you didn't bolt it, if you didn't put the latch on, you left it open.
It's too much fun, man.
Yeah, see, she says, yes, you did. You're not calling her a liar. I know you're not calling your wife a liar. But you got to sleep tonight.
Exactly.
No, I'm
It's a
not
lot
gonna call
easier
her-
to
I'm
sleep
not going
with
to call
two
her a
eyes.
liar, but that's something. She goes in the other room and starts bad mouthing me on the.
Again, do I have to be the bad guy 3 days in a row? That's what they do.
They didn't use their thumbs.
And they didn't use their
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think these got thumbs. I mean, you know how you catch a rooster? If you got several of them out, well, you catch,
no, but I think you're going to tell us.
two of them fighting, and you just get one that's distracted, and you grab it by the legs. Then you use that one to catch all the rest of them. All you have to do is just kind of set it down there by it, and they'll run up there to grab it. And then you just grab another one by the leg.
Yeah, well, they're also attacking his wife.
Oh, no.
Now the rest of the story comes out.
Here.
So he's sacrificing you, Christine, to get the roosters back in the cage.
They could have stayed out for all I cared because they're going to go in the freezer here in a minute.
In a minute.
Yeah, in a minute. Night.
Good night.
She's going to
Good
bed
night,
for the fourth
Christine.
time now.
Tread lightly, Scott. Tread lightly.
Thread lightly there.
Yeah.
I'm
Freezer camp. Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be tomorrow, right?
I'll wake up in the morning. I'll have a whole different heart, and I'll be sitting.
Oh,
there.
exactly.
So there may be a
they're all
stay of- there
great.
may be a
It's,
stay of
it's hot
execution.
out here, so we just kind of. And then tomorrow evening we'll be doing the same thing again.
So these roosters going to get a stay of execution is what you're
Well,
saying.
I'll tell you what I do. Okay. We decided to buy 6 Rhode Island Red straight runs from Tractor Supply. Thinking we'll get 2 or 3 hens. We might get because we wanted a rooster. So we buy 6 straight run, and every one of them's a rooster. So then we buy. Well, before that, we actually bought some meat chickens, and they were supposed to be Cornish cross. And we're thinking, well, those things are going to get so, fat. They're just going to kind of lay there, and they're not going to do anything. Well, when we get them, when they start growing, we realize these aren't Cornish cross. They're some kind of gigantic ranger chicken of some sort, like a Rainbow Ranger or Red Ranger or something like that.
Oh,
And they
Rainbow
are-
Rangers.
They are as big as turkeys now. The hens, 2 hens we had, started laying eggs. And I guarantee we got 3 roosters that are as big as any turkey you'll ever see. And every week it's going, well, we're going to butcher these chickens. And then it'll be 100 degrees. We're going to butcher these. It'll be 100 degrees. We're not going to do it. So anyway, so that's where we're at. So now we got roosters fighting roosters, and every day I go out there and I let some of the roosters out so they can just run around the yard, and at least they can get away from each other when they're running around. But at night, it's a fight. Some of them you have to place on the roost that's out of the big Rainbow Rangers. We got one that can actually fly up on the roost, and it's the one they pick on. So the big ones stay on the bottom, the ones up here above them. And then in the morning, I go out there and I take it off the roost and set it outside. So, if we tried to go on vacation, it'd never happen. So, but they won't be here when we go on that cruise. So,
Well, I was going to say, yeah, they won't be long for the world by then.
Yeah. Well,
But
chickens don't last that long anyway, really.
Nope.
Yeah, they sure don't.
Hey, Ginger.
Yeah. Hey, Ginger.
Hey, Jen.
And whenever Jesse and I started this back in December, it was like, oh, this is like over 2.5 years out, blah, blah, blah. And then we were like, oh, it's 2 years out. Now we're coming up to almost 1.5 years out. And we're like, wow, this is really,
We're getting more excited by the day.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, the cruise is going to be second nature. I mean, it's about meeting all the people that are going to be there. That's what's going to be the
you know what? I've got two things. I want to meet everybody that and spend some quality time, like other than like JB and, the Brenda and Ed, that group. Yes. Got to spend a lot of quality time with, Mike and Terry, I got to spend a lot of quality time with, but yourselves, it was just meeting and passing, and, Glenda and Sir Grace, get to spend a lot of quality time with them. And I got to get Sir Grace to see a whale.
Oh, I know.
I
know.
Like, I don't care if I have to throw him on my shoulder and run across the ship to get him to see a whale. That's that. And I know Glenda feels the exact same way.
Yeah. We're working with the VA to try to find a device that he'll be able to see things like right up on him. So a whale would be.
Yes.
Well, if he just wants to see a whale, I got a device here at the house. It's this is real. It's a camera thing, and you put this little wheel in there, and you just go, and it'll show a whale on it.
I thought you were gonna. I thought he was gonna give him a snorkel and throw him over the side.
I know. Whee! Go have fun, honey.
Yeah. No, my son used to play with it a long time ago, and it's got a whale in it. You see a whale, and it shows it. Every frame hit where he's coming up out of the water. So if that's all he wants, I can do that. I can fix that for you right now, Glenda.
I mean, give it away now.
There you go. Look, Johnny.
Wow.
No, right. Well, I want him to be able to see the mountains, and I want him to be able to, we've got a balcony and hopes that we can find something to make that.
Oh, whenever we get into, so NCL, and I believe there's only one other one, actually have the clearance to get into Glacier Bay.
With a mountain.
Princess
That's good. That's good, but I want it live.
Yeah,
and he actually may end up using
Princess
his
is the other
phone.
one, because we had an excursion there to Glacier Bay from our ship as well, and you can take the helicopter ride.
Apparently we're not allowed off the ship for Glacier Bay. They go out, they circle for half a day, and then we start down. If you want to get out into the glaciers, our last stop or our second last stop is when you jump in the helicopter and go up and see the glaciers.
It's the one before we come back to British Columbia, Victoria.
Yes.
So where am I going to salmon fish at?
Wherever you want.
Well,
you got Ketchikan.
Jesse knows where he was. So
you got Ketchikan, you got Juneau, you got Skagway. But you remember that each one has a certain amount of time. So you have to find, if you're going to find a guide, you'll and see, when we went last time, we could have used the excursion off of the boat, but we found a guy through Facebook, and he does excursions, and he picked us up. He was waiting right there when we walked off the boat. He took us on our fishing excursion, had us back like 4 hours before we were set, not 4 hours, 2 hours before we were set to leave. And he had all our fish. He had it all displayed for us on those hooks, where they show all the fish that you catch. Took the pictures for us, and then sent us all the fish. And he had it smoked. He had it packed, vacuum packed, and dry iced, and at our front door when we got back home.
Wow,
this guy was good. Yeah, so
that is good.
But we saw him out, but you don't have to use an excursion off the boat. So if you find something that you want, you just got to remember you're only there for a certain amount of hours, and he's got to fit you in that time frame.
And you've got to make sure that he is very reputable.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you'll want to check him out.
It would really suck to see us go like this as
Yeah.
you're on a boat beside us as we're going away.
And that's the deal. This guy did not ask for any money up front. We didn't pay him till after we got off the boat. So that told us, you know, he was he was on the up and up. So if they go, yeah, we want $800 up front, blah blah. No, I'd be careful about those kind of guys. So
That's good, Puroki.
Yeah, I read that.
yeah.
Oh, I know. But I know where you're forgetting, JB. I'm the one that can move people around.
Hey, as long as I got that balcony.
Oh no,
Gotta have the balcony.
you can. She's just got to have a hell of an arm to get a water balloon up to where you're going to get on and off the ship.
Yeah. JB, just come see me. I know some other tricks. Just saying, JB.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a new, we'll have to let JB know about the new trick about you get faster room service if you put a pineapple upside down on your door.
Oh, I wouldn't go there.
I don't want to ask.
Yeah, you don't want to ask. Don't even go there. No. How about them Astros, folks? How about them Astros?
Yeah, there you go. Cowboys doing any good this year?
No, they're already out of the playoffs. It hasn't even started yet.
You started yet?
Oh my gosh!
Oh man, and
You're
that's
gonna
what
get
I
another
mean.
ding, Scott.
This is what it's going to be. You know, so much laughing, and none of this crap or drama or it's just gonna be good, wholesome fun.
Did my North Texas sister go to sleep already?
Yeah.
No, she's
But
not commenting,
you
so
can, you can test her, right? All you have to do is just kind of say something, and she'll
just tell her that
wake
she
up.
left the roosters out, and that she only half listens to poor old Johnny. If she don't answer that, she's put the phone away.
That says bombing for me too.
Sure, I know he put me on the same side, but almost at the back of the ship.
Well, unfortunately, no.
Well,
You're actually the closest handicap room to where we are. You're just one up. You're actually not that far from Mike and Terry's room. Just they're one below you.
There's your bomb.
yeah, but
Yeah,
we're
there you
on
go.
11, right? Yeah. Yeah. So
We're on
she's
11,
12.
and
She's on
Cora
12.
Cora and JB are on 12.
Yeah. But yeah, as long as
So
you get a
from
balcony.
from where you and I are, they'd be quite a piece up to our right. Excuse me.
So channels that folks who are coming and stuff like that. I know you can't talk about everybody and stuff like that.
There's only about 3 that I can't say.
Okay.
Because they haven't announced it yet.
I think Drew and Lindsay are thinking about
Drew and
coming.
Lindsay are coming.
No, they're already booked.
Good.
Yeah, they're
all
booked.
right.
Yeah, Drew and Lindsay already booked.
We're trying to get AK Bill to book.
Bill said he's
here.
coming. He sent me a message.
Okay, great.
Oh yeah, no, he's already said that, like he was laughing. He's like, my God, I got to come out of Alaska to the lower 48, get in a boat to come back to Alaska, and then go back to the lower 48 and then fly back up to Alaska.
Yep, exactly.
Hey, Bill, sucks to be you.
That's it. So yeah, Bill's already contacted us.
Okay.
There's another big Oklahoma channel that's coming. Fowler Family Farm. Mike and Tanya.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mike won't commit right now.
Yeah,
And I believe Tanya's going through some health things right now as well.
Yeah.
So
It's hard whenever it's 2 years out like that, and you've got things like that going on, and you think about that. You think about, well, what's going to be happening in 2 years from now?
Yeah.
But
that's why Norwegian NCL gives you the option to
yes,
to back out 3 months prior to the ship
Yes.
sailing, and hopefully within 90 days you'll know if you're going to be able to go on the boat or not.
we're getting on that boat. I don't care if they have to drag me in on a gurney.
Yeah.
We're going. So
no, there's no gurneys. We'll just tie a rope around your feet, and Jesse and I'll
there
pull
you
you
go.
up.
Kind of, pull me up the side, kind of like a fish.
But
Hold on, Johnny.
yeah. Remember whenever you said this, Johnny? Whoops, sorry, Johnny.
Hey. Hey.
There's. What's that?
I was going to say we have to wait till we get to shark-infested waters before we drop him.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, Johnny.
Oops.
Absolutely. So there's from Canada, there's Fisherman 506 and his wife.
Okay.
Tony and Joni, Creekside Maples.
Yes.
Their friend Rama. She was on the channel quite a bit last fall. Rama's going, I believe, with her sister or son or something. Then there's Debbie and I.
Is
it's
there
her
still
niece going?
people,
Okay.
are there still people looking for a roommate?
Nobody's seen Lila in 2 weeks.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, the Rambling Peach, who was looking to talk to Lila, I've not seen or heard from either one of them in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's odd.
Well,
they may be on vacation, or they may
True.
be. They may
no,
be,
Lila's mom. Lila's mom hasn't been good, so I don't know if she took a turn for the worst or something, and that's where Lila's been.
You can't tell. Maybe some medical issue that's come up with somebody, and she's just trying to deal with that. So,
but yet the other lady that was looking to share a room, she hasn't contacted me since. So maybe they're talking. I don't know. So right now, as far as I know, nobody's looking. Everybody's joined. Oh, and Al and Nicole Schaaf from Newfoundland, they're coming. That's it for Canada, I believe. Now there's some people that are like, oh, we might, I know there's 3 or 4 different couples from around here that might go.
Yeah.
But again, they do. Then we have Lila, 2 old people on a couch.
Are they coming?
You and Christine.
Mark and Debbie,
Yeah, Mark and Debbie.
they're booked.
You and Christine, JB and Cora, Jerry and Susan.
Yeah, Jerry. Speaking of Jerry, I haven't seen him on here
Butler
tonight.
Family Farm.
Yeah.
He's been hurting a lot with his knee surgery. So he's been.
Well, he said yesterday on my live, he said it was getting a bit better.
What he said.
Jesse, Randy. Let me try that all over again. Jesse, Randy says that he needs you to share whatever you're eating with him.
Salad. Salad.
Okay, I don't think he's going to want that.
Mike and Terry are coming.
Yeah, Mike and Terry are coming. And who's the other ones that are? Randy and Julie.
Yeah.
Randy and Julie from Heard That. Yeah.
Pretty and Pooch. Somebody said that Mike was talking that he might come.
That'd be great if
there's a couple in North Texas says they're going to go. Gilliams or some Gillums.
North Texas.
Then there's Danny Days Ahead. Danny and Terry, they're coming.
Yeah.
Danny's mom is
Terry
coming.
does stuff.
Yeah, Danny's mom's coming. Her husband will not get in a ship, so she's either going to look, because there's 82 solo cabins, which is just single people cabins, and they actually get their own meeting area, I guess, because they think that they're single, or they get just a specific area.
They have their own
just for
social
them.
club. Their own social club.
Yeah, their own social club.
But in fact, the rooms, if you look at the single rooms, they have a window. It's not a real window, but it's a window with a TV monitor of the view that they would see if there was a window there. So if it's mountains, right, you're seeing, that's what they're going to see on the screen. So it's like they have a camera of what we're seeing, but
on the port side.
It makes it look like a view from a balcony. It's really neat.
So,
I think it's great. Then there's another person from Texas that's coming. Jackie Saylor, she's coming.
We have one here, Pearland. She is sunshine.
Is Sean and
Sean and Wendy, they were talking about it.
No, I think he's talking about Sherman Family Farm.
No, I'm talking. That's Josh.
No, that's Josh.
Sean. Let's Trade Paint.
Let's Trade Paint.
Yeah, they had talked that they wanted to come.
The Rebel at Heart.
Yes.
Yeah, Rebel at Heart. They're part of our Facebook group. What was I gonna say? Oh wow, Lee said Carolyn just had knee surgery 9 months ago and she's just getting around decently now. Wow.
Yeah, that knee thing, that's one of those things you want
It's
to
a
put
hit.
off.
It's a hit and miss.
You need to put it off until you absolutely have to do that, because I know some people that in my former life, I used to help people with knee and hip replacement stuff.
Okay.
And you want to put that one off as long as you possibly can, because it's not a guarantee. And once you lose that that attachment, because you keep eroding, once you lose that attachment, because eventually you will, if you get it too early. Let's say you're in your 50s and you get that attachment too early, you're going to lose where they can attach. And you're eventually going to be worse off. If you go natural as long as you can, it's much better on you. But I know several people that have never gotten over that deal.
Yeah. Lisa Xander said, "Bless you for sneezing."
Oh, thank you.
Xander, I don't know what you're talking about, but Bland's Promised Land, I've heard that they were interested in going.
No, you will not get Monica on a ship if that was the last thing in the world.
Missing out.
No.
Hi, Deborah.
Tried to get, we tried to get Joe to sell that Jeep, Ginger Jeep.
Yeah.
so she could go.
Garden State Gardener.
No, Joe fixed it.
No, Joe from Garden State Gardener is going.
Oh yeah, Joe from Garden State Gardener.
They're not booked.
Yeah, but he's showing an interest in going.
Well, he said that he wanted to go, but they're just having a hard time right now, and
Yeah.
I know they had insurance, but
we need to get Xander from Dark Lord Minute to go.
Deborah, down here in the chat, that is great. I am glad, and I have seen some big success on those knee replacement stuff, but I've also seen some that it just did not work for them. and you don't know before you have it done. So that is wonderful. I saw that. If you lady she works with in church nursery had a right knee done 3 months ago, and then just had a left knee done 3 weeks ago. She's doing really well. And that some people do fantastic. I have a hip that is bothering me really bad, but I guarantee I'm going to walk on this hip until I absolutely can't, because I've seen what happens if you try to keep it too long. So anyway, there we are.
No, exactly. And
A lot of that has to do
Alexander,
with, a lot of that has to do with physical therapy. You know, if you don't do your physical therapy that you're supposed to for the replacements, knee or hip, then you're gonna stove up. You're just gonna stove up. You have to do the therapy.
or you have a doctor that screws up your first one.
That's
which
right.
happened to my mom.
That's
right.
beside,
They didn't put the
medical.
anchor in deep enough.
Right.
And
That's
they
beside
had
the
to
medical.
put mom back under, cut the bone, and now the second doctor that did it, within 3 weeks she was pain-free, walking around, no issues.
Yep.
But the first one, after I think it was 8 or 9 months, she was still hobbling around. She could barely climb stairs.
But what I'm saying is the doctor could do the perfect job and everything is exactly right.
Yep.
If you don't do your therapy, it don't matter what he did. You have to do the therapy, or otherwise you're gonna stove up.
Yep.
You have to do the therapy.
Absolutely. I agree 1,000,000%. It's not like they, or at least up here, they don't send you physical therapy. They show you before they release you. Like, I couldn't believe Jerry actually stayed in the hospital. Here it's day surgery.
Yeah, Lisa was walking the same day, walking out the same day.
Yeah. Like mom was now her second one, they did keep her because he had to go so deep into the bone.
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to blow. And but yeah, no, her first one, she had it at 8 o'clock in the morning, and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, they were driving by the house here. So
people are different.
yeah, well, and that's it.
Well,
Everybody
Xander-
can tolerate pain differently. They, they're different deterioration. Like with my bones crystallizing, I couldn't have that surgery.
Alexander, if I win the lottery tonight, you get a cruise. You get a cruise. You get a cruise.
I'm just waiting for him
God
to.
gets a cruise.
What about me? Do I get a cruise?
The Gillums get a cruise. Everybody
Give
gets a cruise.
get away now. Give it away now.
Yeah.
I want that button, by the way.
Give it away now.
You know,
I want to win that.
they make
I actually want to win that thing. And then whatever.
they make buttons that you can
Whatever.
do a voice recording to, but then you can change them. So I looked at stuff like that too, but then if you send it to someone, they can push the wrong button and record something else.
Yeah.
No, I would want that. I want your all's voices just because. I want to go up to Sir Grace and just like, get away now.
Or tell him whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say
I wanna
probably
glue
the
my
latter of the
head.
two.
Whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, I need that in my life.
Where is Xander from?
He's in what, Nevada?
Nevada.
Yeah.
He's in Nevada.
Nevada area.
They don't have jobs out there?
Well, he's thinking about helping them build a big dam. They're talking about building a big dam over there.
I know over here there's just
They call it Hoover Dam.
oh yeah.
No. That was done a long time ago. Too late.
I know that, but
Well, you never know when they're going to
Jesse,
redo
so
it.
you get I just go with it, Jesse.
Yeah. That's what you're talking with.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what he lives in a house with a bunch of estrogen. That's it. It's just nothing but total estrogen. So
Sounds like my cousin,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
married like 7 daughters.
Like 8 or 9 women there.
Lee said that their fisherman insurance paid for Carolyn's therapy 4 times a week. Mom, they showed her, gave her a stack of papers, said, do this whenever you get home. And I think they had 2 home visits, one the first week, one the second week, and that's it.
Was that Canadian free insurance deal?
Ain't nothing free.
I'm like, I still have to pay. They're now testing me. I'm having a whole bunch of tests done for rheumatoid arthritis and whatever else now.
Yeah.
One of the tests. Okay, I've got 3 different medical coverages.
Uh-huh.
Debbie's work, my long-term, and one at the township, and I still had to pay $55 for the blood tests.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Now,
there's no
I got told that everything was better up there.
There, most things are, Johnny. Like, I joke around, but I'm blessed to live where I am. Do we pay taxes? Yep. You know, our property taxes are a bit higher and whatever else, but we're very fortunate to have what we have. We're very blessed to live where we live. You know, there's, see, she woke up again. It's hard to get Christine out of here.
Xander, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I was an LD as well. So I know what you're talking about.
Xander's our online son, YouTube son.
He says Xander's our online YouTube son.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always here. But yeah, no, the folks that just have to live on like the provincial supplements and whatever.
Uh-huh.
You know, yes, if they get in a car accident, they're not going to lose their home. They're not going to lose, you know, people don't lose their homes up here. I get the same care as a homeless person in the big city. We both wait the same, but they're starting to open up clinics here now that those folks that can afford it get faster treatment. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I'm on the fence on that one. Would I pay for my children? Damn straight I would. To bump the line. But is that fair to everybody? You know, because we have mostly everybody here. You know, yes, our minimum wage is $15.75. But it used to be 12, not that many years ago. But in them doing the big price increase, well, that just gave the government more money to play with. Because really, the folks that are making the minimum wage, they didn't get a whole lot of take home. They went up into another tax bracket. So the government took more money on them.
Yep.
Well, it didn't, you know, everybody was fighting for, you know, equality, and it did nothing for them. You know, like I know folks here that, you know, residents of ours, they both work minimum wage jobs. And, you know, unfortunately, whenever we were of the younger age, minimum wage jobs were a stepping stone. They were never meant to be a career.
Still is that way.
Unfortunately, now a lot of minimum wage jobs are considered careers. And it's, it's a huge rabbit hole to jump down, but it, would I live down there in a heartbeat? Not with my health. I would never give up my Canadian residency because of my health. I've had 3 major surgeries already that I'd be well into the government for millions of dollars down there. I shook my doctor's hand, and that's all I had to pay him.
Yeah.
I've still got a major back operation that probably be done in 2024 next year. Hey, Matt, and they're going to have to reroute most of my nerves in my lower back. It's going to be about a 12-hour operation. But it's to the point now, I'm trying to say, is it really my back? Or is it what Jesse had? Is it the arthritis that's starting to take over my back? And, like Jesse and I, whenever we were together in January, I'd go 5 minutes, he'd go 7 minutes. I'd go 9 minutes, he'd go 10 minutes. It was, and I'm not taking away from Jesse, but he was blessed. They tried something, a drug on him that's given him a whole new ability.
Yeah, it's a protein.
A protein.
It's a protein. And they took away all of my I couldn't walk for more than 5 or 10 minutes before I had to sit down. And then it also had a really bad sciatic nerve issue where, man, it was giving me pain from my butt all the way down to my heels.
Yeah.
And so it took all that away because what it does is it attacks inflammation. Inflammation is the biggest issue with people with arthritis. I mean, if you notice my finger, I got a crooked finger there because of arthritis. Yeah. And this little finger was starting to get it as well. Well, I couldn't even touch it. I couldn't even touch it. It hurt. The wind would blow and it hurt.
Yeah.
So my doctor said, well, we're going to take you off of this, or take you off of half of this, and we're going to put you on a thing called Avsala. It's an infusion that I get every 8 weeks, and it's a drip infusion, just like an IV. It takes about 2 hours to drip in the full dose of this protein that they get from mice. Believe it or not,
Your liver numbers were going up.
Yeah, so my liver numbers were going up with the medication he had me on, so they cut me to half dosage, so my numbers would come back down.
That's the trick.
And in order to get the other half of the medicines I wasn't taking, they put me on this Avsala. And the very next day after I took the first dose, I could touch I could close my hands, I could do this, I could actually touch it again. It was that painful, I guarantee you.
What you're saying, that's the trick.
And his side effect is only that he likes cheese more, and he just runs around in a wheel.
No, I was getting a big time rash on my forehead up here and behind my ears, and it's psoriatic arthritis. And he got rid of all that. I was starting to look like Gorbachev.
Yeah. Hey, that's the trick though, Jesse, is finding a doctor who will will figure this out and actually get you what you need, because a lot of people will look at the blood work, they'll look at the labs, and they'll go, no, it's all good. It's not showing any of that stuff. And so we really don't need to try this.
No, this doctor is really good. And that's why we concentrated was on the labs, because he would watch the number. I mean, because I looked at, is the uric acid issue?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a blood issue? What was the issue? And we just kept watching and trying different things. And finally, when my liver numbers started to bounce up, he goes, whoa, we're going to have to stop on this. And sure enough, we stopped. My numbers are going back down, and also the Avsala has helped alleviate all the inflammation. I have no more psoriatic nerve issue. All my psoriatic arthritis rashes are gone. I have no more rash.
Yeah.
So I can't complain.
Yeah.
I mean,
How long have you been on that?
I did the first one, was it June? No, May. Back in May, I started the first time, and I've been doing it ever since. I
Okay.
did the first one, then you do the second one in 2 weeks, then the next one in 4 weeks, and then every 8 weeks after that. So it's 2, 4, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, here from now on.
Okay. So what
So
are
the
the,
is 8 weeks, correct?
what's the long-term study?
So well, I don't know what the long-term study is, but there has been no side effects because that's what they've been checking every, are you side effects like, except for after the first dose, no, the second dose, the bottoms of my feet started to itch. Like it's like you gotta itch it a lot. And I said, what the heck's going on? But then after that, it stopped.
Mhm.
And
That's probably the nerves starting to.
Yeah,
Probably the nerves starting to wake up in your feet again.
Probably. But the
But yet they won't
inflammation
do-
is what.
Yeah.
The inflammation
Go
is what's the key. If you can control inflammation, you can control 90% of your issues.
Yeah.
Because inflammation causes other things.
Yep.
And it could be in your back, it could be in your neck, it could be in your fingers, it could be in your arms.
Yep.
Inflammation will go wherever it can find a place to attack.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And see, up here, because there's a whole, you guys have the USDA and we have the Canadian standards. Well, they're two different things. So
that's what I'm on.
I have to look at that.
Yeah. And my doctor, as soon as I brought it up to her, she's like, that's a protein. No, I'm not doing it. I'm like, whoa, hold the phone here.
Oh, wow. It's FDA approved, just like the shot.
Yeah.
but there's a lot of things they approve.
Yeah. But up in Canada, they said that it's not approved for long-term use yet. And that's just us.
What? So that's Remicade.
The Absola.
You can go to absola.com.
Yeah, it's Remicade.
Yes.
Helped a lot of people get that. You know that?
Yeah.
That's actually where I'm looking at right now. The
that was one of the medications I helped people get.
So they're also, this is Absola. It's like any other medication. You have your regular, and then you have generic. There may be a generic, Scott, that you or somebody else could that the insurance will pay for, that they won't pay for this, but it's the same basic stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, like, hey, whenever I first, had the phone conversation with her, it was a absolute no, that it was because of the meds that I'm on, because I've taken painkillers for so long. She blamed it on that. I'm like, you've already cut my painkillers, to the point where if you cut them anymore, I'm going to be in bed. Like before I could say I was having a good day, I had no pain. After she cut me back, well, she cut me just after I got back from painkillers.
Right.
And she took 40 pills a month away. So I no longer sleep at night. And this is, they know better, right? So whenever I brought this up, that this possibly could do it, because I read over all the symptoms,
information,
what this would work for, I hit 4 out of the 7. And I'm like, wow. And I presented that to her, and she's like, no. Forget it. It's not it. It's not it. Well, guess what? Then it went to, oh, well, I'm going to do all the labs and then send you to a rheumatoid specialist. So at least I got her to start doing the tests.
Right.
And apparently the person that she sent all my stuff to replied back to her this week. And I am a candidate to go see him.
Oh, good.
but they need more blood tests. So next
Yeah.
week I got to go see the vampire again. Lord only
Yeah,
knows
well,
how much that's
Figure
going to cost me.
$55 again.
Yeah, I don't know how much that's going to cost me, but
Yeah.
again,
No,
don't
but this
care.
is through my arthritis doctor. This is not through my primary care.
Right.
No,
I was gonna
that's- and that's why they're sending me to the rheumatoid arthritis
Yeah,
specialist
rheumatologist. Yeah.
or rheumatologist. Sorry, yes.
Yeah. And they do, anytime you go to, well, up here, I'm not saying Canada, but anytime you go to a rheumatologist, they're going to run you through the labs first. And because they have to have a baseline. They got to know where to start.
Yeah.
And
That's what they're doing here.
Right.
He or she wanted all the labs run, and she will dictate just by my labs if I need to be seen by them. And right now it is favorable. Yes, I do.
Good night, suburban hillbilly.
So
the best thing I can say is just make sure you're advocating for yourself and don't take no for an answer. Just keep pushing it, because that's the lesson I've learned as a caregiver.
Yep.
With Sirgrice, and then also for myself, I had a medical issue, and it took me 20 years of me speaking up. Well, for a period of time, I stopped because I was taking care of Sirgrice, and then I got tired of, like, when I went back, I got tired of the pushback for this problem that I was having, and I switched providers because, I mean, that's just, I have better things to do in life than to go to a doctor's office. That's my opinion. And that's really what my life is doctor's appointments. So I pushed back, and I advocated for myself for a treatment that I go.
And it's good to do that because, you know, I hate to say this, but some offices, and I'm talking about the administrative side of it, some offices are too lazy to pursue something new or something else.
Right.
You know, they just want to do the same old song and dance. Let's put them on aspirin. Let's put them on this. Let's put them on that. And, you know, if he comes back in 6 weeks or 6 months, you know, so be it. But no, you have to, like you said, you have to tell them.
You have to advocate.
You try something else because this ain't working.
Yeah.
well, and that's,
And I don't
like
know
I said,
how it works for you, but if you can switch providers, if you're not getting the help you need, is there a possibility of switching providers? Okay.
I'd be without a doctor right now.
Okay.
Right now, just in my local area, there's because I'm on the physician recruitment board for the hospital. We're 4,000 people don't have a doctor in our area.
Okay. So yeah, it's not an option for you. And I would just keep advocating and keep pushing back and saying, this is what I want to try.
Well, and you know, that's it. And my wife doing what she does.
Yeah, we just
I
push for
I liked my doctor because she would take subtle nudges.
Right.
Do this, but she seems to be pushing back quite a bit lately.
Push back.
Oh, trust me.
Push back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will
You
say
know how
that
you're a caregiver. Well, she's my bear.
I will say that the IV bag that they pump into my arm is 2 doses. I take 2 doses every 8 weeks, and each dose cost $7,000. So that's $14,000 just for that one sit down, and my copay is $200. So I
You ever ask them what that would cost if you had paid cash for it?
Well, it costs $14,000 probably if I have insurance. I don't know.
If you don't have insurance, ask them what the cash price is.
I'll ask them, but I know it's not going to be no 200.
No, it's not going to be 200, but I'll give you an example of something, okay? And there's going to be a lot of people that can relate to this. CPAP machine. If you have insurance, it will cost you $2,000. Okay, $2,300. Your copay will be, you know, whatever your copay is going to be plus, and you're going to end up paying about $750 out of pocket to get this CPAP.
Okay.
If you do like I did and just walk in and say, okay, what if I pay cash? Which I did. it was $500.
Wow.
Yeah. So when I say that mine is 14,000,
Mhm.
that's what they charge the insurance.
Yeah, that's what they charge the
Yeah.
insurance.
I'm
That's
not saying
that's
that's
what I'm
what-
getting at here.
Yeah.
They-
That's what
and
they
that-
charge the insurance.
See, the lady, whenever I did that, here's the quick. She said, we're allowed to charge your insurance this much. I said, okay, you're allowed to charge them this much. Okay, what if I just buy it? Oh, well, it's this much. And I said, I'm just going to pay for it then. So I just bought it. So
Well-
I was going to be out $250 more using my insurance than I was going to be to just pay cash.
Right.
See, and Brutal Bob, his last cancer treatment, it was over $12,000 they wanted him to pay. That was what he had to pay. Well, he gave me a call and he's like, can you check with your pharmacy how much Canada charges for it? Was less than half. So he lives in Michigan. He just crossed over the border and ordered it at the closest pharmacy, paid half, and brought it back home with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a racket.
It's a racket.
What they,
It's a racket.
like whenever Pfizer, Pfizer had a plant here in town, and all the employees, it was $1. That's how much it would cost for like a bottle of Tylenol, or I forget what it, but they made Viagra here, and whenever it first came out, apparently it was like cost a ton of money. They were buying them for $1 sheets and giving them to friends.
It's funny because it's markup, right? Companies got to make money, and I understand that. But I worked for Dr. Pepper. Okay, when we first got married. This is kind of off the subject, but I worked for Dr. Pepper for about 5 years, and we could buy as many drinks as we wanted out of the machine there on the plant, 10 cents, and it wasn't for the syrup because the syrup was like half a cent. It was for the can. The 10 cents is all it cost us all day long. You buy it. And then they sold those same drinks in the grocery store or the convenience store for $1 or $1.50 back then. It's the way the capitalist country is. Everybody's got to make their cut. But yeah, I mean, we could buy, and on breaker days, they call it breaker days. We could get drinks. I could get 3 cases, $1 a case. 3 cases of drinks. So man, I had Dr. Pepper stocked up for.
I gotta get myself a job.
Yeah, but I just that was the 34. No, I wasn't 40 years ago. It was about 35 years ago.
Oh, I got some coffee.
Water.
This is my coffee.
Is that do zero or regular?
No. See the green lid?
Yeah.
It's the good stuff then.
Oh, okay. Well, they got that Mountain Dew up there where Glenda's at too, but it's not with no green lid. And it's a different.
Oh,
Mountain
it's a
Dew.
green lid, but it's got a little green bud too.
Oh.
Up where I'm at,
Well, up in that area, Kentucky, Tennessee.
Oh. Indiana, not so much. We behind
Well,
the times.
we're
Okay.
close.
We a little late.
Kentucky, Indiana.
Kentucky, Ohio,
Tennessee.
Illinois, Michigan. Indiana's the black hole.
Really?
I've been to Indiana once.
But it is the home of the Indy 500. That's all I'm going to say.
It is
There you
the
go.
home of the Indy 500. Yeah.
Johnny, she's not boasting. She's bragging.
And it's the home of the KFC. That video I sent you, that was in Indiana of KFC.
I know that. That was very disappointing to go to Kentucky and not find a single KFC. I was so heartbroken.
He's still on that.
Yeah.
That'd be like going to Louisiana. That'd be like going to Louisiana and not being able to find a single bowl of gumbo.
But the colonel himself was born in Indiana. So it makes sense to bring it home.
Why is there no KFC in Indiana?
No, there is in Indiana.
There is. There's
No,
there was no
that's-
KFC in Kentucky when we went to Kentucky last year.
Yeah.
We couldn't find a
I-
single KFC. What does that tell you? Kentucky Fried Chicken is not in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Well, and we stopped
Kentucky
buying.
Fried Chicken is not in Kentucky.
No.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. Texas Roadhouse did not start in
In
Texas.
right?
I haven't eaten at the original one.
Where's
They're
it
all
at?
over now. If they're even
Yeah.
in Oregon, where Lisa's from.
Indiana is the original Texas Roadhouse. No
Wow.
lie.
Really?
It's in a mall.
Everybody on here that's still on here, everybody needs to take a
We-
trip to Indiana because it's
We're
it's
the
that
hidden
jewel out there in the middle of the.
It's the hidden gem.
It is. It is.
But they cannot
They
say
got
they've
big
made
deer
it.
if you like to hunt too.
Wait, Johnny, but they can't say they've made it until they get a Buc-ee's. When you get a Buc-ee's in your state, then you can say you made it.
Hey,
No,
we're
the
getting
nearest
the
one's in
Buc-ee's.
Kentucky. They have them in Kentucky. I can say that. I've been.
But not in Indiana. So until
No.
they get them in Indiana, then you can't
No.
We're
really get it.
getting one.
Where's y'all's going to be at?
It's south of Oklahoma City, just a little bit.
Okay.
But
The
we
biggest
are
one they
getting
just
a
finished-
Buc-ee's.
They just finished building the biggest one right there in geez, not Pigeon Forge.
I
The
can
biggest
hardly wait to go to
one's in
Buc-ee's.
Sevierville.
The one, Sevierville. The
It
one
was
in
just right
Sevierville.
on the outskirts of Pigeon Forge.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I knew. It
I
wasn't
saw
Pigeon
it.
Forge.
I
Sevierville.
saw it. It's huge.
Huge. It's 170 pumps, folks.
Yeah.
170 pumps.
Huge. That's your entrance into Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg.
Oh my goodness, Sevierville. I knew it was, yeah.
Yeah, right around the
Right
corner.
now, that's the largest, but they're building a bigger one here in Texas.
hmm
So
That was supposed to
KFC,
be open. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
KFC actually bred their birds 45 minutes down the street here. Whenever I had a pressure wash truck, I used to have to go in every 8 weeks and spray down their barn, and they would have, I think it was about 9 or 12,000 birds. And up here, they cut KFC, the bird is cut 9 times. In the US, it's cut 6 times.
Portion size.
So
That just means they get a small
whenever
portion.
you go to eat now in Canada, you get a mouthful of bones. It's gross.
Oh.
Hey, Juan.
Well, we used to live near the farms for McDonald's, the cow farms. And many, many, many years ago. And I just remember driving out in the country and seeing it. And the smell would get up into my car.
Oh no!
But one time my mother-in-law came out to visit us, and my husband was telling her, what these cows were for, and she's like, oh my gosh, there's just hundreds of thousands of cows. Like they're all just packed in. Right. So I rolled down my window really fast and I went, moo, moo, moo. My mother-in-law said, what are you doing? I said, I'm bonding with my lunch.
Oh no!
So up here, up here, McDonald's advertises 100% pure beef or pure beef, and people
Beef or
couldn't
meat?
understand how the hell they were doing it. It's the company that they buy the meat from. That's the name. Is 100% all beef patty or whatever. That's the name of the company where they buy their beef. Tricksters.
Oh.
They get you every time. They weren't lying. That's
Lee,
the beef they were using.
Lee, they were supposed to open in the spring, but they got delayed, so they just opened a couple of weeks ago, or about a month ago.
They were
We're
supposed
actually
to
supposed to
open
get one up here, eh? Near Toronto.
Oh, in Canada?
Really?
Really?
Yep. Where did I read it?
It could be. They're branching out. The Buc-ee's is just. You've been to one, right, Glenda? You've been to the one over there.
Yeah, I've been to the one in Kentucky. And then I saw the one in Sevierville. They were supposed to have been open the last time that we went. Their grand opening was supposed to have been that week. So I was really looking forward to it. And it got delayed.
Yeah.
But I got to see it because you can't miss it. It's on your way into Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg. You go right
But even the
past
one
it.
that you and Sir Grace went to, you had to wait in a friggin' line to get into the place.
Oh my gosh, that is so busy.
Like,
So
that was
my
crazy.
oldest child lives about 20 minutes from that one in Kentucky. And I was told to go in the middle of the night. That's the best time to go. And I'm like, oh, great. I'm going to get up about 1 o'clock in the morning just so I can experience Buc-ee's and walk around without people arm to arm. Sir Grace can't go into Buc-ee's. He walked in, but that was just it. He was done. So I have to have his shopping list when I go in. So I don't get to enjoy it as much as I would like. But apparently if you go in the middle of the night in Kentucky, you can get through the store, no problem.
Well, it's because they're fairly new, and especially a grand opening one, you're not going to get.
But they're always crowded.
But even here in
Kentucky
Texas, they're always more crowded, especially on a holiday weekend. A holiday weekend on a Saturday, oh my goodness! I swear, I think somebody estimated they make $500,000 a day. $500,000 a day. Yeah, they're just like the gas deliveries. They got a truck pumping, one leaving. When this one's pumping, leaving, they got another truck coming in. Like they're like 20 minutes apart on the gas trucks.
I will tell you, I heard Monica stop at her Buc-ee's to pick, was it you, Scott, up some peanut butter fudge? So when we went, I said, Monica bought Scott peanut butter fudge. We bought it. So good.
Oh, yeah.
So good. Get the peanut butter
I have not tasted peanut butter fudge like that. I'm sorry. I love my grandma's peanut butter fudge. Nobody's ever touched it.
Yeah.
This here blew hers out of the water.
Not boasting,
Really
but we are fans.
Yeah. No, you own shares in the place.
And we love Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is one of our favorites. Every time we go out of town, we got to find a Buc-ee's.
Jesse, we're gonna have to drive down there sometime, and we're gonna have to go to Buc-ee's with y'all.
Yeah. Well, if y'all are coming down, if you come down,
We're coming to Pinecone
Dallas.
Fest. We're coming to Pinecone Fest.
Well, there's one in starts with an M. No, it starts with an M.
Starts with an M.
Melissa, isn't it?
No,
Melissa, Texas.
I can't even
The
think of
one
the
that
name.
Terry always stops at?
Yeah. Is that Melissa?
Is it Melissa, Texas?
No,
or?
it's not Melissa. Anyway, it starts with an M. But then there's one. There's one closer to Dallas. There's one. If you're going to Pinecone Fest, it's going to be. Oh, I can't remember the name of that road. There might be one near Canton, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you'll see one or two on the way here.
Ginger's in here. Y'all sold that Jeep yet so you could get on the cruise?
Say again?
I'm talking to Ginger down here.
Okay.
She's in the chat.
Oh yeah, did she sell her Jeep?
Yeah,
Joe's supposed to sell that
gotta
Jeep so they can
sell the
get on
Jeep
the cruise.
first.
It is Melissa.
Melissa. It's Melissa.
It is
Melissa. Isn't that what she was saying all this time?
Melissa just outside of McKinney.
Right there by McKinney. McKinney's north of Dallas.
Or I'm sorry, Scott was saying that. Melissa.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
Yeah.
the Canadian doesn't know anything.
Well, that's what we've been trying to say all this time.
So
I'm just saying,
but-
stick around.
we're not selling my Jeep. No way.
Well,
Hey,
but
hey,
then you're gonna miss. You're gonna.
It'll be
miss
2 years
bonding
older
with-
by then. You might as well sell it. It's gonna be wore out.
Oh man. All that he's gonna have to do, Giuseppe's gonna have to buy you a new Jeep whenever you get off the ship.
There you go.
I
Yeah, when
mean,
you come
Sounds like
home,
a win-win.
you'll get
Yeah.
you'll get the newest Jeep out there. You get your Gladiator like me.
I'm telling you.
Or a vet.
Yeah, get a vet.
Shove it.
Okay, dude. Yeah,
Chevette.
a shove it. Hey, but it got me around. It was cheap on gas.
Yeah, yeah.
And it
We
was
used to
brand
call them
spanking new.
shove-its
And
up
it was
here.
it was a gutless wonder.
If
Yeah.
you had a bunch
walk
of
up hills faster than those things would go up.
I made a
if
little
you
bit
had
of
a
money
bunch
off
of
that.
friends with you,
No,
you
but
had
I
to
made a
shove
little
it up
bit of
the hill.
money. I made a little bit of money while I was in the service because all the service guys didn't have cars. Not everybody had a vehicle, but guess who did? Guess who made money off of that? Oh, you need to go where? Okay, that'd be $10. Okay, I don't want to have to take the bus. Okay. So, not that I wasn't the friend or anything, but I was an entrepreneur. You know, I had to make a little money, side hustle.
Yeah.
A lot of guys can't afford it, especially 18, 19-year-old guys. They couldn't afford it. But no, I made me a little side hustle money with my car.
You were the original, what do you call that?
I was the first Uber.
Yeah, there you go. The original Uber.
I was the Ford Hood Uber.
So
for
Jeff,
Hood Uber, okay.
remember whenever you guys were going, you guys went with Danny up to that meetup,
Yeah, in Kentucky.
and
That
there was only one Buc-ee's in Alabama. There's 4 now.
Yeah.
There's one in Athens, Auburn, Leeds, Loxley. Yeah, there's the 4. So in less than a year, they went from 1 to 4.
Yep.
There's only
Yeah.
2 in Florida. There's one in Daytona, which is, I think, the newest one, in St. Augustine. That's it.
Yeah.
So there may not be a KFC in Kentucky, but they have a second Buc-ee's that I'm aware of.
Well, I think they do have them in Kentucky, but they're on the eastern side. They don't have many on
Kentucky,
the
Richmond.
west.
Richmond's the
I
only
mean, I'm
one.
not con-
There's 2. They're putting one in Smiths Grove, Kentucky.
yeah.
The Western
Well,
Kentucky will be adding Buc-ee's in 2023.
Oh well, this is
We
the
stayed at
ones
the
that are
hotel.
open right now.
Oh, this is for 2023, so they're opening. It's opening this year,
Yeah.
so it's
When
gonna have
we went last year. There was
1,000 square feet.
I got you, Ginger. I'm reading that. Molded it into a massive little ride. She's even has her name on her Jeep. I understand that. Christine has an Xterra, Nissan Xterra that there's nothing you could do to get that thing away from her.
Yeah.
And it's a great little ride too. We're just funning with you about the trip. But it would be great if you and Joe could go.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
Ginger, you know what Jeep stands for, right? Jesse enjoying every path.
It could be Joe too.
it could be Johnny too.
If we Johnny enjoying every path. If you got a Jeep, then that's what it stands for. Or at least it might say it's Jesse enjoys every payment.
Yeah, Joe enjoys every payment. There you go.
Joey enjoys every payment.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna have to call her. I'm a little
Yeah,
I'm a
it's
little
a long
overtime
time.
tonight,
A
and
little.
we're only
You're 3 hours in, 3 hours, 18 minutes.
3 hours, 18 minutes, 37 seconds. Nice.
Yeah.
we're only supposed to be on for an hour and a half.
Oops. Oops.
Oops.
It was Christine's fault.
It's Christine's fault. Yep.
Sure.
Well, it was
That's
actually
my
Glenda
story.
because she's the one that first popped up.
there
Glenda's
you go.
fault.
Hey, she was the.
I will take that because that's giving Scott some hours.
There you
So
go.
you
Well,
are welcome.
there you go.
You
That's
You
right.
are welcome.
You're welcome, Scott.
You are welcome.
Yep.
Miss Doubtfire.
Yes,
You were the fastest one in here.
I was.
Oh,
I made sure that you were going to get your hours. I was taking care of a friend.
Well, come see us.
Getting those watch hours, dude.
Yeah, taking care of a friend. See, friends taking
Exactly. I mean, you think we're just keeping you up all night, but
care of, right.
know.
Watch
By
those
the way,
hours
what
go up
time
and then
is
send
it
me a
there?
little message. Thank you, Glenda.
What time is it up there, by
Well,
the way?
it's
She's
11.
central. She's central time.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
Eastern.
you're an
You're
hour
Eastern?
behind me.
I'm Eastern.
So it's
Yeah,
11 there.
Glenda's the same as me.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
what's wrong. That's what's wrong.
It's just 10:16 here.
Yeah. Here too.
So
Here too.
we can get on there live. Just keep going.
Yeah.
All right,
Well,
Scott. Well,
You
thanks
know
a lot.
what? I can turn it off and you guys can keep it going because he can shut it down.
we're all good. Hey,
Yeah, we're
I
good.
really enjoyed being on here, and I enjoy everybody that's over here in the chat. All of you folks over there. I have been watching all that. Xander, I feel for you being in that household with all those girls and ladies and stuff like
Right.
that. I mean, yeah,
Nieces.
it's got to be a challenge. And it's only 8:16 there. Yeah, nice.
Mhm.
But anyway, just you were talking about your challenges and things like that. Just remember that sometimes you can overcome some of that stuff. I had that going on with me whenever I was a lot younger, and I was able to kind of overcome a lot of it. So just keep on keeping on, keep your chin up on that. Don't give up. And I just, like I said, everybody over there, I wasn't trying to offend anyone at all or anything like that. I just have some kind of experiences with a lot of these things. And I was just giving my experiences. And if you're having a better situation than what I did, then that is fantastic. Everybody is different. So just remember
Amen.
that. And Scott, I appreciate you greatly for putting this on and allowing me in here, and everybody else, Mrs. Doubtfire, Jesse. And so here I am. I'm just rattling on. You don't know how much this community means to me. It means more than you can imagine, and I can hardly wait to get on that cruise ship with you guys. So,
Well, this community couldn't have welcomed a better family than the Gillums. Y'all are.
The good Lord put us together for a reason, my friend.
Absolutely.
What are the odds of Lake Tenkiller having a meet up there and you living right around the corner?
And not knowing about it till the day before.
Exactly.
Yeah, and Christine saying, "Come on, let's go."
Yeah, she did. She goes, "Hey, you want to go to a?" Well, sure, let's go over there. We just drive over there. I mean, it turned into this. And if it hadn't, I'd probably be going, this YouTube thing it just ain't working out. Let's do something different. So anyway, but
yeah. Well, we're right back at you. You guys are a great couple, and we have so much fun together, and that's what it's all about. If you're having a hard time, laughter fixes a lot of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
don't get sappy like I did the other night, Johnny.
And remember, Xander, if I win the lottery, you get a cruise. You get a cruise. You get a cruise. You get a cruise.
Yeah, and we're going back to back.
I have to buy that ticket though. Dang it.
What's that?
In fact, I'll even pay for Ginger's cruise, and she can keep the Jeep.
Hey, look behind you. She's already waving the ticket, so she must have signed it.
Oh no! Yeah, she won't let me sign it.
You're done gone screwed up, buddy.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Anyway, well, thanks a lot, Scott. It's been good, and we'll make sure this prize gets out to the winner,
Mr. Jim,
Carlene Vassir.
Well, Carlene, and then Mr. Jim with the watermelon knife.
Mr. Jim gets this, and Carlene gets the book. Yeah, so that's perfect.
Yeah. And Mr. Jim, if you are still lurking, thank you, sir.
And maybe, just maybe Miss Doubtfire might win one tomorrow night.
I'd like to win one,
We're going to give away, I'm not sure if we're going to give away 3 or 4, probably 4 tomorrow night.
but if Carlene wins, I'm going to cheer her on too.
That's right.
And we have to, because it's not Carlene's fault for being blessed. It's not her fault for being blessed.
You know what? Sometimes some people need a little extra blessings in their life to cheer them up.
Exactly.
We don't know what everybody's going through, and
Exactly. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know what's, you've never walked in their boots or their shoes.
Yeah.
And
There you go.
we don't know. Maybe
no
God
idea.
trying to lift her up, trying to say, you know what, you're worth it. You're worth it. You're worth it.
That's
You're
it.
worth it.
That's it. That's
And
it.
This is her way, God's way of doing it. So, hey, I'm
Totally.
behind you all the way,
Yes.
but I'm not going to be behind you on that track. I'm going to be in front of you. I'm going to be in
See,
front of you.
I knew
It's going
Debbie too.
down. It's
I'm
going
gonna
down.
I'm going to be in front of you.
No, I'm going to take you out.
I knew Mr. Jim would still be in here.
All right, Mrs. Linda.
I'm just going to show up.
It's going down.
He says, I'm just going to show up. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
He's going to be walking around with a black and white checker flag. All right, anybody ready? He's going to say, who's next? Who's next? He's going to be wearing that shirt right there. He's going to be wearing that shirt.
What, this shirt?
Yeah, what? This shirt?
Yeah.
Drag strip king. Yeah.
I could just see him running around the house. Christine, where's that shirt?
Where's that?
Xander, I hope
gotta
you're
go
on
show
the cruise.
Mr. Doubtfire.
I wanna meet you.
But all right, guys. Everybody,
Good night.
you have a great evening. And
All right.
Thanks.
I got a road
Tell
road
Gracie
trip
to say
because
hello.
I have a couple packages sitting in the US. I don't know
Good
what they're
night.
from.
I have no idea either.
I got an idea.